Parlez les gars, parlez. Ouais. Mettez-le, il fait lent. Oh, le délai, c'est pas de plus profondeur. Aïe! La musique, jouez! Joue là! Encore! Sortez! Debout là-bas, calme. Debout, joue. Ça. Plus. Déjà concentré. Calme. Mets le pied sur la balle. Bilan. On connaît déjà. 4 d'abord, 4 d'abord. 10. Regarde-moi. Vas-y. Venez. Mike, à la fin de là. Mike, c'est après bilan. Boum. Passe. Mike. Encore Mike, encore. T'as battu de là. Mike, encore à droite. Joue là. Battez. Calme. Faites vivre le ballon. Bien joué.
Ah, c'est bon.
Bien joué,
Too fast, I guess.
Joue-la, partez. Viens, Mike, viens. Viens encore. Calme. Bien joué. Vas-y maintenant. Bien, Fab. On remonte. Qui viens, frérot, viens. Ganago, Amikas, va sortir. Elle est sortie.
Combien? C'est qui sort ici des camps?
Ganago, prêt. Ganago, fight. Qui a sorti là-bas?
Qui sort?
Ganago est fight. Max, regarde-moi. C'est bon, Max.
Il reste là. On a compris.
Oui.
Les gars, ne partez pas le but.
Samba, colle.
Ne partez pas le but, les gars. Ne partez pas le but. Ne partez pas le but.
Ok? Et les gars, allez, au bout. Vas-y à fond. T'entends. Bien joué. Bien, James. Avance. Joue. Antoine, là on avance. Vas-y, tu es un côté. Chamba, joue. Take your man.
No pushing, no pulling, hands off. Don't use your head. Hands off. Coming.
Away. Normal.
16. Connacht won 26-5 at Edinburgh, and Glasgow Warriors managed to edge out Ulster 26 points to 22 in Belfast. We're moving on to rugby league news now. And there were two games that took place in the Super League on Friday night. So Wakefield Trinity romped to a 58-10 win against the Catalan Dragons. Meanwhile, in the crunch tie at the Brick Community Stadium, Wigan Warriors managed to win by 24 points to 4 against Leeds Rhinos. So Wigan leading by 16 points to 0 at the break. A late consolation try for Leeds from winger maker Sivo. But a comprehensive victory for Wigan on home soil. That means that St Helens are now 2 points clear at the top of the Super League standings with Leeds Rhinos in second spot. That's all for now. We'll have more later. These are your latest sports news headlines. I'm Alex Jack.
Firm monopoly on top spot that's lasted more than 40 years. Hearts make 3 changes from the win over Falkirk. Kent, Braga and Spittle all drop down to the bench. Kingsley, Kabore and Altena come in to the starting lineup. So it's Swallow in goal, Steinvender, Kingsley, Findlay and Milne the back 4. Kizaridis, Baningime, Devlin and Altena the midfield. Kabore and Shankland lead the line. Despite their best efforts, they've not been able to shake off Celtic, who are looking for their 5th Premiership top spot in a row. Martin O'Neill names... Well, a warm welcome to our coverage then of this Scottish Premiership decider. Brace yourself, fasten your seatbelt, pull down the harness from above, keep your hands inside the vehicle and enjoy the rollercoaster ride of the next 90 minutes. It could be bedlam, as Derek McInnes has described it in the pre-match, as Hearts get us underway then at Celtic Park, both sides in their traditional kits. The green and white for Celtic, the maroon for Hearts, and it's Hearts quickly forward. Matsini Salo is there to catch. I'm Steve Pearson, bringing you this independent off-tube studio commentary. Josh Makin joins me for this one, and Josh, well, you don't need to rewrite pre-script this one, do you? You know it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, you certainly do. I mean, it's a once-in-a-generation game, isn't it, in Scottish football? The first time a team could win the title, other than Rangers, since 1985. The first time for Hearts to win a title since 1960. You do not get more dramatic final days than this one. It's all been set up as well by that Celtic goal in the last minute against Motherwell on Wednesday night. And you're just thinking how the Hearts react to that. The first 15 minutes of this game we think are going to be absolutely crucial chance already for Celtic as the ball comes into the box. Not sure if that one's been kept in, it has, by Hearts, but they've just got to try and survive as long as they can in this one, the away side. Celtic are going to throw absolutely everything at them. They've got the experience of winning titles. They're backed by 60,000 of their own supporters as well. It's going to be really tough for them to do anything, but they've got that faith. They've been top since September, and they'll back themselves now.
One ball forward by Scales, just kept in on that far side, but comes straight back across. Steinvender will clear it away, but his clearance is poor, easily picked up by McGregor. Out wide on that left-hand side now. Celtic with plenty of players forward. Nice intensity as you'd expect from O'Neill's side as they come forward into the box. Maeda rolls it out on that left-hand side. Can they get a cross in here? There's plenty of green and white in the penalty area, but again it's blocked out by Hearts. But again they give it away as Scales steps up into the attacking third, picks up possession. Who did that come off last? It came off the Hearts man, Lawrence Shankland, coming back to help cover, and the ball is out of play for a corner. A first decision for Don Robertson, and an easy decision thankfully for the referee to start off with. That will give him a little bit of settling down time as well. A lot of pressure on the officials, as you can imagine, for this game, as the corner kick will come in then from the left hand side. It will be the in-swinger over on that near side of the field. As it comes in towards the near post, header comes in, but it's well over the crossbar in the end. Trusty getting across the front of the defence, but way over the bar in the end.
Yeah, first sort of effort in this game for Celtic. It's a good ball in as well. There's plenty of pace on it, and Trusty just attracts it at the near post. In the end, there's quite a lot of bodies in the way. They just about put him off in the end, so he heads it over the bar. It's a fast start though for Celtic, isn't it? It's what we expected to see from them in this game. They're always going to come straight out of the traps at Hearts. It's just about holding on for as long as possible.
It certainly is, as the ball is settle down now for Swallow to be able to clear it long downfield. Just looking at the stats on our screen, goals in the first 15 minutes, Celtic top of that particular table. There's already been a goal elsewhere. It's in the game that's meaningless, much to Celtic fans' amusement, I'm sure. Schmidt has scored for Rangers to make it 1-0 at Falkirk. The other game, of course, Hibs against Motherwell, as those two battle for the European places behind Celtic and Hearts and Rangers. And plenty to play for between those two as Celtic pick up possession again. Maeda drops the ball into those midfield areas. Challenge comes in from Kabore. One or two people looking at the referee, but he waves play on, says that was a good tackle. The ball all the way back to Swallow though, as he plays long left-footed downfield. Real battle going on down that left-hand side, but it's picked up again by Hearts in midfield. Banaminghe tries to come forward again. Drops it off to Shankland, who drops it a little deep, plays a square ball inside for Devlin, and he'll work it out on that right-hand side for Kingsley coming forward. It's Kisaridis heading off across field, no way for him to go though at the moment. But Hearts just having their first little bit of possession inside the Celtic half. Long ball forward again into the channel left-hand side. Maybe an opportunity for Kabore to get a ball in. He can't, but he'll win a throw in for his side down on this left-hand side. Almost down by the corner flag as Johnston comes across with the challenge. Hearts just starting to settle in after a rather frantic first couple of minutes, but the only chance so far, a half chance from that Celtic corner. As Hearts will look for the long throw into the penalty area. Milne goes across to take it. Launches it in towards the near post. It's flicked on. Shankland can't get there. He claims he was brought down. He wasn't. He was grabbing hold of the defender himself and then threw himself on the floor, quite frankly. Well, Shankland can moan all he likes, but I've got eyes on him there, Josh, and he was clearly pulling the defender more than the defender was pulling him.
Yeah, it certainly looked to be that way. I mean, him and Liam Scales just getting a bit of a tangle. There's nowhere near enough in it in the end on Shankland there to get a penalty. They're both at it. They're both sort of pushing away. He seems to slip over more than anything as well. He sort of feet gives way underneath him. That's why he slips forward in the end. So yeah, nothing is going to be given for that one. Lawrence Shankland's going to have to hang in there like all those Hearts players. He's not going to get too much service maybe, especially in the opening stages of this one. Celtic have started quickly, but Hearts have just begun to settle. They want the ball to stay down that end of the field as much as possible.
They certainly do, and at the moment a fairly even first 5 minutes then. Celtic 0, Hearts 0. Not surprisingly, a little bit of tension. But actually the game's settled down now into more of a steady pattern as the ball is played long downfield by Trusty, looking for players on the corner of the penalty area, but it's half cleared. Not fully cleared though, lost again by Hearts, and just one or two times they're struggling to clear their lines when it ends up with their defenders, but they've got it back up towards the halfway line, force the home side into their own half for a moment or two as Trusty steps over halfway on this right-hand side, rolls it out wider on the right, but it comes back to the American on the halfway line. It's all nice interplay here from Celtic, but it's not really going anywhere, at least for the moment, and that will please Hearts as Scales again finds a little bit of space before Devlin comes to close him down. Works it out over on that left-hand side. Yeah, there's plenty of movement, but most of it is defensively, moving from side to side, keeping a very solid base at the moment, this Hearts team, as you'd probably expect. As defender comes across again to cover in the form of Harry Milne. Can he clear it away? He can, but it's gone straight out of play. He claims that it came off Tenekti, but the official stood right next to him with the flag says not. And Celtic will pick up possession again over on their left-hand side as Tierney rolls the ball out wide. No real space at the moment to get the ball into the area. Kisaridis and Kingsley come across to cover, but it's worked down the left channel. Ball in towards the near post is headed away, but that'll go behind again, and chances starting to potentially open up as Engels found the cross in on that occasion. Steinbender though with the header, but Hearts well organised at the back. Celtic want to take the corner kick quickly. Devlin is clearly far too close to those players, and he's going to get a warning from the referee to move back. Got to be 10 yards away for the corner. Engels is not going to rush. Tenekti is over there as well to maybe pick up possession, and then Engels is going to change his mind and whips this one in, I think, as he puts the ball in a slightly different position in the quadrant. Not that it makes much difference. McGregor tells the referee to get out of the way in case it comes towards him, and then after all that, the corner kick is miles too high and goes straight out of play for a goal kick. That was a waste of time then.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, Hearts will be absolutely loving that though. They want it to keep happening like that for the rest of this game. We know that Celtic can be effective from set pieces. They have got some decent aerial threats, especially at the back. We've already seen Trusty get on the end of one of those corners. Didn't quite result in anything in the end, especially not that one as well. It's straight over everyone, out of play for a goal kick. Hearts halfway through that sort of initial 15-minute period where we said they just had to hang in there. They're doing quite well so far. Not really any saves so far for Swallow to make, and yeah, still goalless.
Yeah, I think Falkirk and Rangers are playing a game that's like kids who've brought the games in at the end of term in a junior school, because it's now 2-1 already inside the first 8 minutes of that game. Chimiti scored twice for Rangers, and then Falkirk have pulled one back. It's gone down as a Jack Butland own goal, so we'll find a bit of context for you on that one at some point. Falkirk 1, Rangers 2, the only goals then of the early stages in the Scottish Premiership, as Kabore comes forward here for Hearts, tries to backheel it into the penalty area, but Trustee's there to block it out, and it goes out of play for another throw-in, so it'll be a long throw again from Harry Milne as he comes forward from that left-back position. Ignores the ball that's on the side, picks up a different one instead. Findlay and Kabore are the two who are in there. Findlay having a good old chuckle and chat with some of the defenders around him, as Milne launches this one in again, a little bit flatter this time and easily headed away, but still picked up by Hearts, trying to get it back out to Milne again, who manages to get a second ball and then turns inside well, but his cross is massively overhit. It was good work from Milne initially, Josh, but the ball in really poor.
Yeah, really good footwork from him there. Just takes a touch through the Celtic defenders, and you think he's going to drive up towards the edge of the box and put a great ball in. Doesn't quite do it in the end. He goes early with the cross and gets it wrong. He's aiming for Shankland at the far post. Too much on it though in the end, and Celtic see it go wide. Interesting to see Kabore starting this game, actually. I think that might have surprised quite a few that Braga hasn't started. He has looked a little bit tired though recently, so maybe just thinking we can bring him on later on and we could get us a crucial goal.
Yeah, Derek McGuinness saying in the pre-match that he's picked up a little bit of an injury, been struggling with 1 and 3 games in a week, just a little bit too much unfortunately for Braga, but certainly hopes, as you say, that he will have some kind of input into this game. Interesting to see the referee Don Robertson already having a quiet word with Milne about a bit of time wasting. He's not exactly rushing to come and take a throw in here in the attacking third, as Findlay wanders his way forward. The man on loan from Oxford takes up that position again at the near post. Milne this time launched one in a little higher, but again it's a Celtic head that gets on it. Still not properly clear. Nygren manages to get it out of the area. Devlin knocks it back in again. It's all rather scrappy at the moment as it's played out towards Milne on this left hand side. Can he get space? Nobody will get fouled. Nygren I should say, goes straight into the back of him. And the Swede looked round as if to say, me ref, but he looked like he absolutely wiped him out and got no ball.
There's literally no complaints about that one at all, surely, from Nygren. I mean, he completely takes out Harry Milne, who's had a good start to his game. He's looked lively down the left-hand side, just gets himself in front, feels the contact in the back and goes down. This is a good opportunity as well for Hearts. A free kick from a dangerous position. 24 goals from set pieces this season. No one scored more in the Scottish Premiership. How much they'd like one now.
Yeah, Milne is over it. Excuse me, Kizaridis in there as well, as he looks to whip one in from almost down by the corner flag. It's the right-footed in-swinger towards the far post, comes off a defensive head this time and goes behind for another corner, so there will be another opportunity from that far side. Good defending at the far post with Hearts players running in behind, but it's still another opportunity, and Kingsley will go across to whip this one in left-footed. 5 maroon shirts inside the 6-yard box. Referee keeping a very close eye. Nobody outside the 6-yard box actually until he gets to the edge of the area. It's whipped in then towards the centre of the goal. Easy catch though for Sinisalo, who breaks away from Shankland, who tries to hold him up. A couple of players bump into him as well, so Sinisalo will just take his time. Rolls it out to Trusty on this right hand side. Celtic do have the momentum. 7th successive league victory they're looking for today. Martin O'Neill saying in the pre-match, of course, of what they needed to achieve. They had to win everything moving forward to have any chance of having anything to play for on this final day. And they've certainly achieved that under him. They have had a number of Premiership losses, 8 this season, more than the last couple of seasons combined, but they were under another manager, shall we say, which didn't go particularly well, as we know, in that earlier part of the season. So the majority have fitted into that particular bracket of the season, and since then Celtic have been outstanding on their run towards the end. Although you still have to come back to the slight element of fortune, shall we say, midweek. I'm not going to get drifting into that. I have my own views. I will keep them to myself for now. But the ball is back in the hands of Alex Swallow, who so far 14 clean sheets on the season, more than he ever had in his career in Germany. Last time he got into double figures for clean sheets, he was playing for Freiburg in the Bundesliga 2, which gives you an idea of the time, because he's been in the Bundesliga quite a long time before his move away from Germany. Excellent goalkeeper over the years, and has been outstanding for Hearts again this season. But so far, neither he nor Sinisalo have had a shot to save in the first 13 minutes of the game. It remains Celtic 0, Hearts 0, still Hibs 0, Motherwell 0, and Falkirk 1, Rangers 2 in the other two games in the top half of the Premiership. Long ball forward over the top here towards the edge of the penalty area. It's good defending, 2 players down inside the area. Referee for the moment is playing on because neither is a head injury. It's Steinwender who's been left in a crumpled heap, but I think with the ball on halfway, the referee is going to stop play and allow some treatment here. Some complaints from the Celtic players, but it wasn't exactly as though the ball was going anywhere, was it? It was just sat on the halfway line. Yeah, exactly. It was just trusty, wasn't it? It was sort of going side to side with his other defender, but not going anywhere, so the referee can stop the game in that instance. We see that it's good defending from Steinwender. Just gets across Johnson in the end, who'd made the run forward. He has come off the worst of it, though. The Hearts defender, it looked awkward. It looked bad as he went down there as well. He was immediately, I should say, asking for the physios to come on. He's got his hand over his face now as well as he receives treatment. So this is not good news at all for Hearts. In a big game like this, where they have started to settle into the game really well, you can just do without these early injuries, and you need everyone fit and firing for it. I think they're going to have to be forced into an early change. Yeah, Derek McGuinness is already waving somebody back towards the bench, which is not a good sign. It's purely an accidental collision between the two, both going for the ball. Just the knee of Johnston ends up rattling into the side of Steinwender as he got across and cleared it away. But I'm not calling foul on that on the Celtic man. He had every right to go for the ball as it was bouncing across. Yeah, he certainly did. There's no foul in that one at all. It's just unfortunate in the end that after they both make contact with the ball, it goes in to the side of Steinwender. There's no shout for a free kick as well from the Hearts players who are right close to it. They know and he's got every right to go for that challenge. So it's going to be interesting now to see what they do. They have got the likes of Kent on the bench who started in the last game. Maybe he's going to come on, but still early questions now for Derek McInnes. Yeah, a little bit of concern still. Obviously getting messages from the physios into the earpieces on the sideline. Steinwender does get himself back up onto his feet. He's walking off under his own steam. Still hobbling though as he comes over to this near side. And therefore it will be a little bit of concern still to see whether he can play on. Hearts have had 1 or 2 injury problems over the last 2 or 3 weeks. And some key players in the squad, meaning it's a little thinner than it should be perhaps for Derek McInnes. But for the moment at least, it looks like Steinwender will want to come back onto the field. I think the referee actually in the end did bring it back for a free kick because he got a whisper in his ear from his assistant on that near side that it should have been a foul, and therefore it will be a free kick to Hearts to get us back underway again. Ball bounces around inside the Celtic half. Nobody really taking control of it. Nygren heads it down. It's cleared away downfield, but it's all rather scrappy at the moment as Engels does get a ball forward. Yang pushes it, trying to get it into the path of Maeda, but it's too far for him. It's hacked downfield. There's no messing about from Hearts defensively. They don't want to spend much time there with Steinwender back onto the field, and he clears the ball away and reacts as though he's been kicked again, I'm afraid to say. When he cleared it, landed heavily and therefore hobbles away as Kabori is pulled up for a free kick, which Celtic have taken quickly again. There's no stoppages in this game apart from the injury so far, as a long ball goes down this right hand side again. Will it be kept in? No, it's gone straight out of play, and there's a little bit of a nudge on Nygren as well, who makes the most of it as he's pushed over the sideline in the end. Referee uninterested, and Steinwender still wanders off hobbling at the moment. Yeah, he's still moving awkwardly. I mean, it's better that he's at least back up to his feet and trying to run it off, but he still just looks really in some discomfort. I'm not sure he's going to be able to last too much longer in this game. The Hearts even want to risk it as well. The longer they keep him on, the more susceptible they are at the back. It's maybe just better to cut their losses at this point and make that change. We'll see whether that comes, but for the moment no signs of it as Swallow clears the ball long downfield. Steinwender wins a header over Maeda. Ball cleared long down up towards Shanklin. He's beaten to it and there's going to be a foul, but no, referee's played on. Good advantage. Hearts in possession down the left hand side. No space for the cross though at the moment as Altena comes across all the way to the right hand side, from one side to the other for Hearts, but that's given Celtic time to get green and white behind the ball. Kizaridis picks up possession. No way forward for him. Panangime wanted it in midfield but didn't get it. The former Everton youngster, as the ball's cleared long down the left-hand channel. Looked like a little nudge in the back. There's an offside anyway on that left-hand side. So the push is academic, as Jordi Altena was a little bit too far on that occasion. And the flag goes up and Celtic take the free kick quickly. And at the moment Celtic seem desperate to get the ball in play, because I think they think they're still playing against, as you said, 10.5 men at the moment. 10.5 men at the moment, sorry.
Yeah, they certainly are, and they know that this is a good chance in the game for them to sort of strike at Hearts as well. They want the game to be in play and to be flowing nicely as well. For Hearts it's better if it gets broken up, and then they can just sort of employ the dark arts and wind down the clock as much as possible. Still plenty of time left to go in this one, of course, but the longer they can just frustrate Celtic, the happier they'll be.
Well, Steinvender's gone back again. He's pushed the ball back to his goalkeeper, but again he gets up hobbling as he beats Maeda to do it. Showed really good pace there, the Austrian defender, but doesn't look good every time he does anything. He's then getting up in some pain at the moment as Hearts win back possession, but the ball falls to McGregor. Although he can't keep it under control, Hearts will win it back, but there's actually an offside as Kizaridis was caught coming back from an offside position, unfortunately, and therefore it will be a free kick to Celtic midway inside their own half. 19 minutes gone, still no score, still no clear-cut chances for either side so far. Just a trusty header over the bar from a corner. That's the nearest we've come so far. And other than that, it's been pretty quiet in the attacking third for either side in the early stages. More sparring than anything else. Celtic, of course, need the victory. 1-0 will do in that sense. There's no goal difference scenario, as there would have been had it ended 2-2 at Motherwell in midweek. And they would have needed to give Hearts a real hammering to win the title. But as it is, a victory is enough. But a draw or a defeat would hand the title to Hearts, of course. Celtic missed out on the title in the last fixture in 2003, 05, 09 and 2011 as well. Did well on the closing day in 2008. There was the ball forward up towards Yang, just inside the penalty area. Can he get room for a shot? No, he can't. Challenge comes in. A good challenge it is as well by Milne. In fact, there was another offside as he tried to go forward down that right-hand side. At the moment, most of the action is the assistant referees.
Yeah, nerves sort of come into play maybe. The players making the run a little bit too early on and sort of getting caught out by the linesman. I mean, we'll see the replay though. He's onside by the looks of it. I think Harry Milne is just about in line with him right there. Linesman has a good view of it as well, so maybe should make a better decision there. But it's a good tackle anyway from Harry Milne, who did win the ball back, so it wouldn't have mattered. The Hearts defender getting back to recover nicely.
Yeah, Swallow all in yellow, clears the ball up towards the halfway line. Strong header comes in midfield for Celtic, but it's back with Kabore onto the left hand side. Can he get the ball under control? Can he get room for a shot? He tries to pull it back across into the path of Shankland, but it's cleared away, and Celtic with Johnston should be able to hack it downfield up towards the halfway line. But there's only Maeda up there, a lonely figure in green and white, surrounded by maroon jerseys. And it's picked up by Hearts. Long ball into the channel again, looking for Kabore. Seem to think at the moment, Hearts, that is the best outlet. It's just not quite getting enough space on the defenders to get a shot in. It will be a throw in to Hearts, almost level with the edge of the Celtic penalty area. Again, Milne comes forward to take it. Points everybody downfield. So he's going to pull the long one into the penalty area as Findlay wanders forward again, joined by Steinvender, who's still on the field as Milne plays the throw in short, then lifts one into the area. Shankland does win the header, looping up in the air though. And Sinisalo able to watch that one drift wide, but half a chance at least for Hearts.
Yeah, it's going to be always tough there, isn't it, for Lawrence Shankland. He's sort of leaning back on it. There's a man right next to him as well, so always hard to get up over that ball and head it down. Does about as well as he can in the end, but 21 minutes and a half gone now. Probably say that Hearts are going to be happier with how this game's going at the moment. We said they just needed to weather the initial Celtic storm. That never actually really came from the home side. They had a fast 2 or 3 minutes, but ever since then Hearts have settled into this one really nicely. And imagine they'll have quietened it down a bit, and Kabore has a shot.
Yeah, he does have a strike, but he gets it all wrong really, and the ball just harmlessly bounces away on that left hand side. Nowhere to go at this moment in time. The ball is back over onto the right. No real space at the moment to find any room, but it's back with Trusty. Trusty can't find space at the moment, and eventually it's worked all the way back into goalkeeper Sinisalo. He wanders up towards the halfway line and over onto this right-hand side. No real space though for the minute. Eventually it's picked up in midfield. Nygren can't find any room at all. It's worked out on that right though for Celtic, but it's all rather congested at the minute as Hearts pick up possession again through those central areas. Here comes Shankland. Shankland back onto the halfway line again. Devlin has it. It's all rather pedestrian from Hearts, but that's fine for them. They can just keep possession, keep the ball away from Celtic, and try and stop any space at the moment. And eventually it's worked all the way back to Swallow, who launches it right-footed downfield before he's closed down by Maeda. Header comes in from Scales. It's all rather scrappy at the minute, and that suits Derek McInnes' side to some extent. Chips a long ball downfield, no real space for it in the central areas. And eventually it finds its way over onto that right-hand side. Worked out to Celtic again with Tunekti. Tries a ball into the channel. That's blocked out though. Steinbender is still there. Somehow he manages to clear it and hobbles away again. Ball is out of play for a Celtic throw in then. 23.5 minutes gone in the game. Celtic 0, Hearts 0. Josh will see if he can find us a goal before half time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Steve. Tierney looking for that one now. He's got a throw in just by the corner flag for Celtic. A reminder that if it stays like this at 0-0 the rest of the game, Hearts will be champions. Celtic won't be panicking yet though. Plenty of time left to go. Tierney is now making the run backwards, so it's going to be a long run up for the former Arsenal man. He launches it into the area. Finlay with the clearance. There's one from Altena on the edge of the box. He's surely fouled there by Engels, I believe it was, stepping forward. Goes right into the face of the Hearts winger. That's a definite foul. There might have even been Johnston, the full-back, in an advanced position. Can see their alternate just gets there ahead of him, heads it round the corner. Johnston's got real no intention of going for the ball. He just wipes him out, perhaps lucky to avoid a yellow card. The referee in this one understandably doesn't want to get his cards out too often and want to let the game flow as much as possible without it descending into some chaos. See, Aaron Trusty has had double the touches more than anyone else so far in this game, and that's next to Liam Scales, his centre-back teammate. So you can see how this game's going so far, can't you? Hearts just sort of being penned in, letting Celtic get on the ball. They'll be comfortable at the moment though. They've not conceded any real big chances. As we've said, Swallow's not really had a save to make so far in this game. The closest Celtic have come has been from that header from Trusty in the opening few moments from the set piece. Altena is now staying down as well, receiving some treatment. It might have been a cut, maybe even some concussion that he suffered on the edge of the box as the cameras pan round to supporters around Celtic Park. There's not many Hearts fans. They've been given an allocation around 800 for this game. So the majority is made up by those wearing green and white. Just as the camera pans around, you can already see the nerves on some of the people's faces there, and how big this game is. As I mentioned, it's a once-in-a-generation game, a chance for someone other than the old firm sides to win the title. Altena is back up now. It's a cut on his lip from the looks of things. So it's going to be able to continue. Maybe just a little bit of a sore one as Martin O'Neill watches on from the sidelines. 25.5 minutes gone, still goalless in this one. Nova goes to bring you news of as well in the other Scottish games. It's still goals between Hibernian and Motherwell. Rangers still 2-1 up as well against Falkirk after a frantic start in that game. Swallow is now finally going to be able to take this long free kick on the edge of his own box. He sends it up towards the edge of the area. Kabore heads it towards the side. Can they get on the end of that one? Kiziridis is trying to do so. However, it is going to be Celtic who come away with it. There's a slip there. Might even be a free kick. Yep, it's given in the end there by the official. Thought for a moment that Kiziridis had won that fairly. Apparently not though, according to the referee. Once again, Celtic can get possession. Scales moves it across towards Trusty, who's now going to try and drive it out from the heart of defence. Not really many options up ahead of him though. He's forced to go back towards Johnston. Now towards Trusty again. Tierney's making the long row in. Trusty goes for the crossfield ball to try and find the Scottish international. It's headed down towards Negrum now. Might play it through for Maeda. And it just evades the Japanese international in the end. A bit of a heavy pass through. He's been quite low so far, hasn't he, Maeda? Only needs that one chance though, and he almost got it there. Yeah,
he looks very isolated at the minute, doesn't he? That's kind of the problem. He's not just getting enough bodies forward quickly enough, and had the ball been played right on that occasion, there was certainly onside. around the edge of the penalty area, so there was a chance. But you look at it at the other end, Shankland and Kabore not had anything either. So both defences very much on top so far, doing really good jobs for their teams. But as you say, Celtic just seem a little bit inhibited. They don't quite want to push players forward yet to get in support of Maeda, and it's going to be that kind of breakaway, quick transition goal. If it's anything from Celtic, the only other option is to look into the channels for Maeda, but he's always up against two every time.
Trust it. Once again bringing it out from defence. Young with her passing towards the inside, but Nygren can't bring his touch under control. Findlay sends it forward, doesn't take any chances, so Celtic have got a throw in about halfway inside their own half, which Trust it isn't going to take. He's going to lay it off instead for Johnston. Again, quite static up Fred from Celtic. Maeda eventually makes a run, but it's not the greatest throw in. Steinbender, can only chest that one out for another throw in. This one's in a much more advanced position. Looks like Rangers have restored that 2-goal lead over Falkirk. It's now 3-1 to Danny Roll's side in that game. Gassama has made it 3-1 to Rangers. Celtic look for a way through in this game. Hearts standing firm though for the time being. 28 minutes gone, still 0-0. Trust it. Once again, he's had so much possession this game on his own. Finally finds the ball forward. Nygren plays it off to Johnston, tries to nip it around Milner. He's got there as well towards the byline, tries to get a cross in. Over to him though is Milner. He'll now send the ball forward. It's looking for Shankland, who's in a bit of a battle there with Trust it. Trust it looks like he's maybe caught one on the end of it. No foul though. Celtic can bring it out from defence once more. Scales across now towards Tierney, who's looked dangerous when he has been able to go forward. Now inside towards Engels, and back to Scales as well. Tierney trying to make the pitch as wide as he possibly can. And he's now going to be Scales though into the final third for Celtic. Again, a little bit static though, just up ahead of the players currently on the ball. Not many runs being made, and that's happy to keep them where they are. Steinbender is moving a lot better now. Have to see what that's like at half time. Shankland there almost nips it off of Trusty. He got a little bit too comfortable there, did the American. I think the final touch may have come off of Austin Trusty as well. In fact, no, it didn't. It was Shankland, the Hearts captain, who touched it last. So Johnston has got a throw in just up ahead of it. It's starting to become really cagey, isn't it, this game?
Yeah, it was kind of what we feared. There was two kind of options really, I suppose, that it would be an open flowing game where Celtic just tried to attack, and that created spaces for Hearts in behind. But at the moment, it's almost like 1-0 will do us for either team at the minute. Obviously, Hearts aren't going to push forward. They can sit on their advantage in that sense, but Celtic obviously can't. But at the moment, they've still got the handbrake on in this Celtic side.
Tierney trying to loop the ball into the box. It's headed down by Steinbender, then poked through almost by Yang. Hearts have got it clear, only as far as Scales as Celtic look to ramp the pressure. It's down to Netke, bringing it down the left hand side. So many players in the way, so finds it through for McGregor. Engels on the edge of the box, lets it go for Johnston. And another defensive pass now towards Trusty. Possession is the order of the day so far for Celtic as we pass the half-hour mark at Celtic Park. Scales with a decent looking ball initially, but Hearts have snuffed it out, and it's Kabore now. Can he bring it forward for Hearts? He's not got many options and can't really get forward. It's back towards Ingame. Now for Steinbender, across towards Kingsley. Maybe a run now for Kizaridis. Crossfield. This is well worked at the moment from Hearts. Findlay finds for Milne. Now back towards Findlay though. But Ingame now in the midfield. He's got quite a few Celtic shirts around him, but still finds it back for Steinbender. Findlay will now send it forward in search of, I believe that was Altena making the run. He wasn't really anywhere near it in the end, so Johnston can easily let that run out for a throw-in just by his own corner flag. Celtic champions in 13 of the last 14 seasons in the Scottish Premier League. Is that experience going to pay dividends in the end? It's not showing any signs of doing that so far. That's still happy with how this is going. Derek McInnes will be the happy of the two managers thus far. It's Ingame with a lovely touch in the middle. Takes it behind him, resulting melee has led to Hearts getting hold of it. Kabore tries to chase a lost cause. It's already going out for a throw-in. So Johnston has got another chance now to try and send the ball up on the right side. Still goals as well between Hibernian and Motherwell. A big game there. Battle for fourth place and guaranteed European football next season. Johnston down the line, headed on by Engels, but Hearts have won it back again. Altena now driving up towards the centre, inside towards Devlin. He's Sort of closed down there by Engels. A bit of a sliding tackle. This might be a chance now for Celtic. They can get a 3-on-2 if they play this one right. It's Tenetke on the edge of the box now. Tries to cut inside on that right foot. Gets his shot off as well. It's on target. He hits it low, he hits it hard, but ultimately it's stayed at Swallow. And that might be the first shot on target of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. First effort at least. Good break from Celtic. Good advantage played as well through that right-hand side. And then Tenetke with the shot. The main danger was Steinwender actually stretching across trying to block it. Had he got a touch on it, that may well have taken it away from his goalkeeper and made it very difficult for Swallow. But as it was, he missed and it just bobbled harmlessly straight through to him.
It's at the moment where Celtic maybe start to properly ramp up the pressure on Hearts. Swallow, as we've said, has not had too much to do so far in this game. He's had a save to make there, albeit a half chance for Celtic. Looking to go forward again now. It's Trusty driving down the right side. The space up ahead of him, but he finds Yang instead out on the right wing. Johnston with the overlapping run. Yang goes inside instead though. Still going. Plays a 1-2 there with Nygren, but can't keep hold of it. Hearts might be able to break out now as well. It's Kizaridis away down that right side. Too many players in the way though, so it's back now towards Kingsley. Lets it run behind him. Lays it off for Swallow. Won't take any chances this time. The goalkeeper, again sending it long up towards Kabore. Altena might be able to head that on. He's missed it in the end though. And Johnston just heads it right around the corner. Starting to get a little bit more intense with some of the challenges that we're seeing flying in the middle of the pitch. That will certainly help get the Celtic crowd up for it, if they weren't already. I'm not sure they needed this sort of persuasion in this game with what's at stake. Trusty though now for Celtic. Once again bringing it over halfway line. Nygren showing for it. Good move from Celtic. It's eventually led to Engels getting the ball. Out towards Yang again. Up against Milne. Pass backwards towards Engels. Then towards Maeda. 34 minutes gone at Celtic Park. Still 0-0 and still no real big talking points so far in this game. It's been very nervy, very cagey, which again will suit Derek McInnes' team. Scales though now lofts one over the top. That finds Tainey, who chests it down as well. Tainey on the edge of the box, wants it on his left foot. Lays it off now towards Nygren. Heavy touch and Altena gets there ahead of him. It's a nice touch and he's drawn the foul this time from Johnston, who slides in on his man. He fouls him and he picks up the first yellow card of the match.
Yeah, just out of control really in terms of the challenge, isn't he, as he comes across. It's all rather frustrating for Celtic because the ball spun away from Nygren, and as you say, the defender coming up trying to make the challenge, slides in and catches nothing but player really, no ball at all. Altena makes the most of it as you'd expect, but it's a clear foul and a clear yellow card for Alistair Johnson, so no great surprise that he goes into the box 10 minutes before half time then.
Yep, second yellow card of the season for the Canadian. You just saw that there was a decent chance for Celtic. Tierney was sort of coming towards the edge of the box and it's so obvious that he's a left-footed player in that situation. He did not want to take that on his right foot at all. He was constantly looking to lay it off to someone. If that's on the other side and he's got his left foot aiming towards goal, that just pulled the trigger. Meanwhile though, there has been another goal in one of the other games. It looks like Motherwell have taken the lead against Hibernian. It flashed up on the screen for a moment. It's still gone back to 0-0 now, so we'll confirm whether they have got that opener in just a few moments or so, as it's a good strength there from Engels. He's now bringing it forward. Getting back though is Kizaridis. It's wonderful tracking back there from the Greek international. Runs all the way back and makes the challenge, and that's what Hearts need, don't they? In moments like that, they need everyone working as hard as possible. Those attackers have not had too much to go off so far, so doing their defensive duty. Yeah,
absolutely, and it's been a good team performance from Hearts in the first 35 minutes. Plenty to do, obviously, in this game, but as you say, as a unit, they are working incredibly hard, even though Shanklin and Kabore really have not seen the ball at all. They've been dropping in, supporting the midfield as and when required. As you say, Kizaridis dropping back in there as well to pick up possession as he does so now again on halfway. But yeah, good team start from Hearts. They've certainly taken the early energy out of Celtic, haven't they, and made it into a settled game.
Can they get an attack now as well? Altena with a really heavy touch, but he's just about gotten away with it again. Onto his right foot now on the edge of the box. Altena is still going. Lays it off now towards Reningame. Across then towards Devlin. Hearts being patient. They've got Celtic pending. Altena will go for the curling effort. He wants something spectacular in the end. Flies into the stands though and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, disappointing finish that in the end, isn't it? From a player who's not regularly on the score sheet. Hasn't got anything in the league so far this season. He got two players in the centre to aim at. Yes, accepting there were a lot of defenders back, but nevertheless there was space over on that right hand side and he should really have got involved with it.
Probably worth just keeping the ball down that area of the field as well, even if they didn't really have a chance as a result of it. Meanwhile though, I'll just confirm Motherwell have scored in their game away at Hibernian. It's Fadinga who's got them in front there. Of course, Hibernian will be keeping a keen eye on this game. Arch rivals of Hearts, of course. Trusting out brings it forward, up past the halfway line. Still not much movement up ahead for the American defender. Knocks it back towards Johnston. Now on for Yang. Been quiet so far. Great defending again there from Harry Milne, who just takes it off him effortlessly. Findlay. Down the line now for Milne again, who has got space to drive into. Passes towards the centre. Shankland has Kabore, and this could be a decent attack now for Hearts. It's Kabore up towards the edge of the penalty area. Kabore will go for it with left footed. He tries to get the outside of the foot short. It bounces off a few players in the end, and out for a goal kick. But again, Hearts attacking with a bit more intensity.
Absolutely, and it's good to see as well from this Hearts side. You know, they've got to give their defence and midfield a little bit of breathing space and get some ball downfield at the moment, haven't they? And that's maybe of concern of Steinbender's. Well, it's going to be a foul. It's going to be a play on from the referee, but a yellow card, I suspect, for the Hearts defender. Yeah,
connecting out towards the edge of the box. It's a good effort for the cross there. It's just played out by Findlay, though. Of course, Steinbender will go into the yellow card book for that one. Don't think he could have too many complaints. Completely wiped out his man there in the form of Maeda. And the first yellow card for a Hearts player. It goes to the Austrian, his 4th this season. Good news for Hearts though is that he's still on the pitch. He picked up that early injury. He's completely shrugged it off now though. Maybe have to look at it a little bit further at half time. But Celtic have got themselves a corner. It's over on that far side, so it's going to be the in-swinger for the Hoops. What can they do with it? They had that chance in the early few stages with Trusty. It's going to be whipped in with pace again to the near post. It's an easy header away though in the end. This time it's Steinbender again with the clearance out towards McGregor though. Now Tanetki thinks about having a run at his defender. Instead he passes it inside towards Callum McGregor. Tierney now across towards Nygrum. Yang now wants a run at Milne. Once again puts the challenge in. Fantastic performance so far from Harry Milne. He's looked really solid, the Scottish fullback. Not giving anything away down his flank. Yang has been quiet. That's the game plan working so far for Hearts. 6 minutes left to go until half time. Still goalless. Throw in taken by Johnston. It's short, but Ingeme's going to keep all over the back of him though. So again he's forced back towards Trusty. This is where Hearts want Celtic to have the ball. I'd much rather keep them on the halfway line rather than on the edge of their own box. Scales driving forward again. Might finally get it out towards the left 40, and he does. Kisridis has been beaten this time. There's a ball forward, it's an ambitious one, and as Steinbender being dragged back there, he has much of a dismay of those Celtic supporters and Engels, but it's a free kick.
Yeah, a little tug back, wasn't it? They just seemed to block him off. Not seen the replay yet. Steinbender's not surprisingly taking a bit of time to get back to his feet after that injury earlier on. He's still hobbling as he goes away. He got clattered, a bit of a dead leg perhaps, but he's determined to carry on. And 5 minutes to go to the break, and one or two of the Celtic fans are heading to the back of the stand, at least for the moment, early in this half-time period, because there's a little bit of frustration starting to come around Celtic Park. I think not really getting a grip on this game, Celtic, at the moment. Hearts playing well, but as you said, long way to go.
Yeah, it's not the fast start that they'll have expected, and they'll have wanted so much more intensity from their team in this first half, really taking the game to Hearts. It's not quite worked out like that for them though. Hearts have executed the game plan perfectly up until this point. They've had no chances themselves, but of course they don't need to score in this game. Hearts, they can hold out for the 0-0 here, and they will be champions as the ball goes forward from the throw-in. Shankland battling with Tierney. It's come off nicely as well as it's out towards Devlin now. Shankland over on the touchline. He wants to be a little bit more central in the box. Devlin plays it off of Maeda, so it's going to be out for a throw-in on that far side, which Kingsley is going to take. Initially thought it was going to be Kingsley who's playing at centre-back and Steinbender out on the right side. They've actually switched over though, so Steinbender the more central of the two, and Kingsley's going to launch this one straight into the area. A long throw-in again for Hearts. Milne's had a couple of them on the left side. Now it's Kingsley's turn. Gets a lot of loft on it as well in towards the box. Scales in a bit of confusion. He's headed it behind. It's going out for a corner as well. He wasn't under much pressure there, the Irish defender. In the end, I think he just sort of gets caught in two minds whether he wants to put it forward or just keep it away from a Hearts man. But ultimately, Hearts have got themselves a corner.
Yeah, did well in the end, didn't he? As you say, yeah. But Hearts, how many players do they throw forward? How much pressure do they put on here is the question. But at the moment, Celtic have just dropped everybody back in the penalty area. So, there's no gamble there for Hearts to leave a number of players back. They can push a few into the box.
Kingsley to take this corner. It's going to be the in-swinger for Hearts. In fact, he floats it towards the edge of the box. It's not the greatest delivery. Kizaridis will still pick it up though. Now towards Devlin. Kingsley rushing to get himself back on side. He has it now as well, the Hearts defender. Up towards the byline. Tries to put a ball into the box. It comes off of Tanecki last though. Out for a corner. And you got that Kingsley's delivery this time is much better.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I don't understand that corner at all. I really don't understand that in terms of why you would not just put it into the area and then hope to pick up anything that comes out of the box for Kizaridis. I get the fact that he's there, but if you're going to get it to him, you've got to power it across and let him have the volley on the edge of the penalty area.
In comes the second corner. It's a much better delivery to the far post. It's Lawrence Shanklin who pops up. Hearts are in front in this game. They only need a point from to become champions. Frustration has crept in for Celtic. Hearts take advantage. It's Celtic 0, Hearts 1.
Yeah, like I said, why don't you just put a ball into the area and attack it? That's exactly what they did. The first one, when they actually did put it into the 6-yard box, was too low. It ended up in the hands of Sinisalo on the edge of the 6-yard box. But that time, long ball towards the far post. There's an overload on that far post area. We need to see a replay again to see why that ended up in that scenario, because you cannot imagine why you would leave Lawrence Shanklin unmarked. Look, he's there, pulls away from the defence. Nobody picks him up at all. How can you not pick up the top goal scorer and captain? He just walks into the 6-yard box, clear header, powers it in. Sinisalo's trying to get there, maybe just brushes his fingertips as he stretches up. But Shanklin, perfect corner from Hearts, appalling defending from Celtic, and it's Hearts who have the advantage.
16 Scottish Premiership goals now for Lawrence Shanklin. What a season it's been from the Hearts captain, and that's probably the most important goal he might score in his career. Massive, massive moment at the end of this first half. It's probably the ideal time to score as well for Hearts. They've done their job up until this point. They've kept Celtic out, they've frustrated them, and now they've hit them with the ultimate sucker punch. Just a minute left to go until half time. I don't think there's time for Celtic to react to that. Brilliant from Hearts. Tierney though now looking for the response, and yeah, you're right, Steve, I cannot believe they're defending with that. How on earth a Martin O'Neill team is going to be that unorganised at the set piece and just let Shanklin arrive round the far post? There'll have to be a big inquest into how they've let that happen. And it's the final minute though of this first half. Trusty has it again on the halfway line. He's going to drive it forward. Another goal, by the way, in the game between Falkirk and Rangers. Falkirk have hit back again. It's now 3-2 to Danny Rowe's team in that game. And Shanklin in a bit of trouble. He does well. He plays it off of Nygren last time out for a throw-in, and well, Hearts have got Celtic exactly where they want them. Yeah,
absolutely. This is exactly what they needed just before half-time as well. Got to see out now this 45 minutes. There will be a bit of stoppage time, of course, for the injury to Steinbender, so the half is not concluded, but of course what it does mean is that Celtic have then got to throw caution to the wind in the second half and really go for it. It'll be interesting. It'll be a different challenge for this Hearts side, won't it, in the second 45 minutes if it stays this way, and whether they can weather a storm you would expect after half-time. Maybe a substitution or two to come as well from Martin O'Neill. Really interesting second period coming up, presuming we finish at 1-0, of course, at half time.
Yeah, there's still a chance for Hearts to go forward and maybe get another one, but you are right, they're heading into uncharted territory. These Hearts players, they won't have been in a situation like this in their careers. Chance to really make history. 3 minutes have been added on at the end of this first half. Celtic are now coming forward with Tanecki over on that far side. Passing towards Engels is a good one. Tierney's almost released down the side, but Hearts have won it back again, and there's maybe some space now for them to work with. Kizaridis finds Altena just by the halfway line. Defensive pass back towards Findlay. Sends it up forward, only met by the head though of Johnston. Sliding tackle's a good one there from Young, and Altena is all over the back of him. Has a foul been committed there by a Hearts player? It has. They just break up play in the end. They don't want Celtic to go forward in that situation. They've taken it quickly though. Have the boys. To McGregor out towards Scales. Now finds Tanecki over on that left wing. Up against Kingsley, who's looked solid so far. Tanecki wants to go down the inside. Tierney on the overlap though. Now first time ball is deflected out. Celtic want themselves a handball, and the referee is giving it. Well, he pointed towards the corner flag at first, and then after the appeals he points to the penalty spot. It's Kizaridis who it's come off of last. We're going to have to see, is this going to be like Wednesday night and Celtic being given a soft penalty, or have they actually got a case this time?
Well, there's not much reaction from Kizaridis to complain about it, let's put it that way, so that would suggest otherwise. Well, his hands out away from his body. I mean, he's sliding in. You're into what's a natural and what's an unnatural position, but his arm's up as the ball tries to come across. It clearly hits his hand, there's no question. And really, there is no complaint from Kizaridis. There are others who complain about it, but there's no complaint from the man who actually did it in that sense, sliding across. It's an unfortunate one, but I think letter of the law, I think referee's spot on. As you said, he obviously didn't have the right angle to see it, but the assistant on either side, if he's got a clear through there, it will be seen. Shanklin can complain that it's close in, but it isn't. The arm's miles away from the body. It's a penalty all ends up, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I think it is as well. Referee's blowing his whistle. I think he's told everyone to move away. He's not made the VAR sort of gesture with his hands. So this is going to be a penalty for Celtic. They scored a massive one on Wednesday night. Kelechi Iheanacho on that occasion, but it's not going to be him this time. He's on the substitute bench. Callum McGregor and Liam Scales currently look the players most likely. Swallows had not a lot to do so far in this game. Can he produce the ultimate save for Hearts and keep them ahead going into the break? Of course, if Celtic score this penalty, it's still Hearts who are champions elect, but that might just completely change things. It was a dream first half for Hearts up until this point. Engels is going to be the man to take this penalty. They can barely watch in the stands behind the goal. This is a massive, massive moment. Swallow employing the tactics, trying to put the Belgian midfielder off, who looks calm and composed, eventually sets it down on the spot. Can hear a pin drop at the moment at Celtic Park. People covering their faces. It's all too much for some in this one. We've passed the 3 minutes of additional time. It's Engels against Swallow. Slow run up from the Belgian. It's Engels, it's into the net as well. He goes for the bottom right, it's just underneath Swallow. I thought he'd almost saved it for a moment. Engels goes to celebrate with the supporters. It's a massive moment in this one at Celtic Park. Celtic won, Hearts won.
Yeah, good penalty, wasn't it, in the end? He had to wait a long, long time before taking it, and can always put pressure on a player. But ice cold in terms of stepping up, as you say, under the... Oh, actually, it's a lot closer. I thought it had gone to the left-hand side of the goalkeeper from the angle that we were seeing. But actually, when you see it again, it goes underneath, in between arm and leg of the goalkeeper, and he can't get across. As I said, from the initial angle, I thought it had gone past his left hand and straight into the corner. But in the end, it is a rather fortunate penalty for Engels. I'll give him credit for keeping it low and towards the right side of the goal. But he's a lucky, lucky boy, and Swallow's unlucky as he dives across. Just can't react quickly enough to move the hand back in and make the save. Because obviously, as a keeper, you're stretching out towards that bottom corner, and the ball ends up right in the gap between knee and hand, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, it's quite brave from him to employ that celebration as well.
Yes.
Shush the crowd as a result of it, when he should have probably just missed Swallow right over it, and should have probably done better with that one. He'll be disappointed, the German goalkeeper, but he can't do anything about it now. It's 1-1 as we await the half-time whistle. A real cagey first half for the most, but it's exploded into Heart life right at the end of it. And the referee will blow the whistle for half-time in the end. As it stands, Hearts are still going to be champions in this one. They took the lead through Lawrence Shanklin to put them in dreamland. However, Celtic have hit back. Engels from the penalty spot means that at half-time it's Celtic 1, Hearts 1.
It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left, Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half-time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left. Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left. Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left. Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo later, break down the left. Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left. Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left. Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left. Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left. Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left. Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left. Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left, Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left, Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left, Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left, Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left, Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left, Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left, Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left, Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left, Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left, Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left. Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left. Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left. Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left. Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left. Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left. Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left. Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left. Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left. Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first a corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left. Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it, and Shanklin was there to power a header in at the far post. But a couple of minutes later, break down the left, Tierney's cross blocked by the arm of Kizaridis. Referee, quite rightly, I would say, points to the spot. Engels took his time and put the ball somehow under Swallow. Half time, Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's still advantage Hearts, but only just after drama in the final 5 minutes of the first half. The first corner from the right for Hearts. It went right over the top of the defenders. Sinisalo couldn't get a hand on it. Well, off we go again then for another 45 minutes to see who will win the Scottish Premiership title. At the moment, it is advantage Hearts, but that advantage is wafer thin as it stands. It stands at 1-1, and the penalty just before half time. And I don't think I'm going to quibble about this one, maybe as much as I did about the one in midweek. But anyway, play gets underway then. Celtic in possession in the sunshine in Glasgow. Independent off-tube studio commentary with myself, Steve Pearson and Josh Makin. And the ball up towards the halfway line already for Celtic. And they play it forward to a new player up front. Iheanacho has been brought on in this second half. They've taken off Tonegti, who, to be fair, didn't have too much influence on the first period. Here come Hearts though with a long ball forward. Trusty has to head it away before Kabore can get in there. All pinging around in midfield before Engels finally pushes it out to Maeda, who's now taken up a position on the left-hand side. Iheanacho looks like he's gone through the centre, so that's the change in terms of the tactics for Celtic. Finally a breather after a minute, so we see Steinbender on the field, and he's still hobbling every time he walks at the minute. Referee wants to throw in, taken from a slightly different place, so it'll be further back. So a chance after a breathless first minute of nothing. It looks like there is going to be a change, and I wonder if Steinbender is finally going to depart the scene, but it isn't. No, this is an odd one in terms of Altena is the man who has gone off. I don't know about you, Josh. I wasn't expecting that, if I'm being brutally honest. That's come out of the blue. Frankie Kent is going to be his replacement.
When I saw Frankie Kent lining up on the sideline there, my initial thought was, they've tried to get Steinbender just to try and go out on the pitch and see how he's playing. And then they've realised that he can't play on and they're going to bring him off. Instead, they brought Altena off. I'm not sure if it was the same sort of thing. It didn't look like he picked up a knock during the first half or anything like that. That is a baffling substitution. Of course, we've not got any other information through about what have happened there to Altena, but yeah, baffling stuff. First minute there's been a change. We'll see if that impacts it for Hearts. Of course, Frankie Kent started in the 3-0 win over Falkirk in midweek, so he is used to playing. And you just think about the first half. I mean, if Hearts had gone in at 1-0 after that Lawrence Shankland opener, I think I'd be favouring them for the title at the moment. The fact that Celtic have got that penalty and scored, it's just going to give them that platform, I think, now in the second half. They can go at Hearts, they'll have the confidence. They finally found the net after a really slow first half where they haven't done too much. They finally got that equaliser at the end. They finally got something to shout about, and now they just need to play off from that.
Yeah, it's an odd scenario all round, really, isn't it, in that sense? So yes, anyway, we'll try and find out. 60 seconds, that must be a response to the change. You would have thought somebody would have noticed Iheanacho walking down the tunnel, though, maybe said, hang on a minute, let's just do this change at half time. But anyway, Kent, who scored against Falkirk in midweek, is now on the field, and here's Iheanacho with his first real touch of the ball down that right hand side. Hello, there's a Hearts player gone down here, and it looked like there was absolutely no contact at all. But I think he has gone down, and he's holding the back of his... That looks like his hamstring's gone. He's holding the back of his right leg and laid on the floor, and there is immediate concern from all those in maroon around him as he dropped to the floor with nothing happened at all there as far as I could see.
Yeah, I mean, Iheanacho's just sort of moving away, but Ingmar trying to keep up with him. It's his hamstring, isn't it? He just feels it go. His left leg is completely gone. Iheanacho, to his credit, slows the game down and says there needs to be some treatment here rather than playing on. That's a bad one for Beningame. It's just starting to feel like it's going a bit wrong for Hearts, isn't it? That equaliser for Celtic. They've now had to bring Altena off. I imagine that substitution actually is probably because Celtic have now got two strikers on the pitch, haven't they, in the form of Iheanacho and Maeda. Frankie Kent is a centre-back, so they maybe just want one more centre-back than they do, one more centre-half than Celtic have strikers. They're going to be forced into a second change, though, in the first few minutes of this second half. This one It's completely against what they'll have wanted to do, but Benenga, mate, he won't be able to carry on after that. He'll say to the physios he wants to try, but when your hamstring goes like that, you've got to go off.
No, you could see straight away he was holding the back of his leg, and as you said, Iheanacho immediately stopped, wasn't going to take advantage of that, knew that a fellow professional was in quite a bit of pain, and the DR Congo man hit the deck. And he's back up onto it. He will slowly make his way across. McGregor is going, oh, you should be going off that way. But in a serious injury situation, I think the referee quite sensibly is giving a bit of time here and allowing Benenga to make the shortest journey off the field as he comes off almost in tears. His shirt is over his eyes. Massive frustration for the, as I said, former Everton youngster. And he will be brought off clearly in some pain. Well, you've now got Steinbender as well, of course, still at the back, who's still hobbling after all that. Blair Spittle, by the way, sorry, is the man who's going to come on. I hadn't mentioned him. He was ready on the sideline straight away. One of the ones, again, who played against Falkirk in midweek and now comes off the field. So with 5 minutes of the second half gone, we've only played about 2 minutes, I think, so far, with a substitution and an injury and a substitution. And of course, they're using up windows here in terms of subs, so there's only one left available to Derek McInnes as this game goes on.
Yeah, they're going to have to make a triple sub, aren't they, at some point? So they're going to have to wait for quite some time before doing that. Maybe just at a critical moment in the game, bring 3 players on. And that's probably what they're going to have to do. It's a disaster of a start to the second half for Derek McInnes. His side haven't even done anything wrong. They've had an injury. They've had to make another change as well due to a tactical change at Celtic at half-time. So not what they'll have wanted. They'll be happy that Celtic haven't really had a chance though to get going. The game's been broken up in the second half, so Celtic haven't been able to carry that momentum through to the start of this half. They'll trust it, trying to change that now as he finds Iheanacho.
Yeah, ball into Iheanacho, coming away from the penalty area though as he does so. Ball comes back to Trusty, and then it's worked out over on that right-hand side. Not surprisingly, Celtic having the bulk of possession in the early stages of the second period in what's been a fractured start to this second half, sadly, because of injury particularly, but also substitutions, as Celtic have possession wide on that right-hand side. Johnston, though, is forced back towards the halfway line, where Trusty is in there as well. Johnston on a yellow card, Steinbender the same as well for Hearts. As the ball is threaded through into an attacking position, trying to push down that right-hand side, but just too many defenders around, really, in the end. Comfortable for Kingsley just to shepherd Celtic players away, and he just runs all the way through to Alex Swallow, again from open play. Still really hasn't had a save to make in this game, has he? He's not been called into any serious action. Shot straight at him and a couple flashing across away, or as near as Celtic got in that first half until the penalty in first half stoppage time. Here goes Findlay across to cover, manages to get it out of play before Nygren can close him down too much, and the ball is out for a throw-in to Celtic deep inside the Hearts territory. Remains Motherwell 1 up at Hibernian and Rangers 4-2 up at Falkirk in the other 2 games. As Iheanacho, and it sort of skips through to the goalkeeper. No chance for anybody in green and white to get that one. Iheanacho is perhaps suggesting it brushed an arm as it went through, but there didn't appear to be any particular movement towards the ball and would have been outside the area anyway. Swallow takes his full 8 seconds before launching the ball downfield straight onto the head of Johnston, but his header clear is poor. Zaridis picks it up on that left-hand side, but he's immediately closed down. There's no space for the Greek winger. Hearts trying to press now and put a bit of pressure on this Celtic side, and Kabori's done well. He's won back possession, and he goes down under a challenge going back towards the penalty area. It'll be a free kick to Hearts, and the referee has waved a yellow card, I think in the direction of Nygren, who was coming back to cover. It is Nygren. Yeah, there's not a great deal of contact there, to be fair to the Celtic man. It's probably a foul, but I'm not really sure it's a yellow card.
No, I think Kabore is looking for that one, isn't it? There's not really any need for him to look for the free kick, though. It's a dangerous chance, that, for Hearts, as he bursts in towards the penalty area. Yeah, it's just on the outside of the box in the end there, the foul. So the Swedish player goes into the book. He joins Johnson as the other Celtic player to have picked up a yellow card in this game, and perhaps more crucially, a chance in a good position here for Hearts. They've already scored from a set piece in this game. We've already mentioned the best in the Scottish Premiership at doing it. Let's see what they can do with this one.
Yeah, in-swinging ball towards the 6-yard box. Celtic set their line right across the edge of that 6-yard box. The ball comes whipping in, but it's too high in the end, way over the crossbar, and no problem for Sinisalo. Perfectly happy to watch that one disappear behind him. Picks up a ball off the cone behind the goal, and off we go again straight away as Scales launches one long downfield. It's behind everybody in green and white, easily headed away. Milne can't keep it in though, and it runs out for a throw in to Celtic, almost on the halfway line. And Tierney having a little whinge at the referee as Milne took the ball with him. There wasn't really an option for Celtic to take a quick throw down that left hand side. And Nygren in the books, to say third player to disappear into the referee's notebook. He scored 21 goals across all competitions, the Swedish international this season, so has a threat at both ends of the field. Doing some defensive work more than attacking stuff though at the moment in the first 55 minutes of the game, as we stand at Celtic 1, Hearts 1. It's not enough for the home side, it is enough for Hearts to take their first title since the 1960s. And the first non-Old Firm Championship title since 1985. There's a long ball over the top here, and there's plenty of green and white shirts forward. If they can find the right ball into the air, it breaks away. There's a shot comes in, comes off the back of Kingsley, who then I think he's accidentally caught by a trailing boot as he ends up on the floor, but it's gone behind off him for the corner, and a set piece opportunity for Celtic.
It's a fantastic ball down the line, isn't it, as well, to find Young, who's timed his run nicely. Finlay just gets there to deal with him, though. He's too strong for Young in the end. And Johnston, I think what's happened there is, as he's come back down off of taking his shot, his foot has just sort of collided with the back of Kingsley's head. There's nothing Johnston can do about it. It's purely gravity that brings his foot down onto Kingsley. It's not going to be a free kick. Thankfully, the Hearts defender is back up to his feet, though. Won't need any treatment.
Yeah, he just got one on the shoulder and then on the back of the head, didn't he, with that trailing boot, as you say, purely accidental. And he's back up onto his feet without needing treatment. But the corner kick comes in then from that right-hand side from Tierney. So it'll be the left-footed in-swinger. Whips it in towards the far post. Header defensively clears it half away, but it's knocked back in by McGregor onto this left-hand side. Scales is up there battling for it, having gone up for the set-piece opportunity. Does really well. Gets the corner off Milne. Excellent work from Liam Scales. Couldn't really get space for a cross with two defenders in front of him. Corner kick's already been taken short though. Comes back to Engels, back out to McGregor. Whips the ball in across the penalty area. It's flicked on by Nygren, and they take it down at the far post. No, they can't. There's one or two half-hearted appeals that it came off a Hearts hand, but nobody reacts to it, and the ball's back towards Johnston on the halfway line. Not that a lack of appeal can mean anything for a handball with a VAR check, as we know from midweek, when literally nobody from a Celtic point of view appealed for a penalty. Or maybe they did for a foul on Trusty rather than anything else, which looked like what it was first being looked at from that VAR decision. And it turned into a handball scenario. And it's a handball that put Celtic back into the game with that penalty. Kisaridis' arm, I'm afraid from a Hearts point of view, was waving around, and therefore a bit more of a clear-cut decision. The ball over the top from Shankland will be chased down by Kabore. It's picked up by Sinisalo. Not the best ball back across, but it's hooked away before Shankland can get there. He's then collided with the Celtic man, but play will continue with Yang over the halfway line. Kisaridis is also down as well, so we've got players from both sides in different parts of the pitch down on the floor at the moment, as the ball is out of play for a throw-in, and the referee, Don Robertson, is going to come back here with a yellow card in his hand. But I'm not exactly sure which foul that's for. I presume it's for the one on Kisaridis.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with how many fouls just went in there. I mean, there were players dropping like flies on the pitch as both sides tried to attack. In the end, it's Trusty, isn't it, who's picked the yellow card up. I think he did just go through Kisaridis there as Hearts were mounting their attack. So he goes into the book now for Celtic. Yeah, he's just late on the Greek international, goes through him and sort of plants a foot down. Can see then the attack. The ball over the top is a really good one, actually, for Kabore to run on to the end of, and you only see Sinisalo sort of entering the frame at the last moment to go and deal with that one. Kisaridis, though, has stayed down. He's now receiving treatment. There's been so many injuries in this game, especially at the start of the second half. If Hearts are forced into another one, this would be a real disaster, because this is their last window to make changes, as you've already said, Steve. So they're going to have to make a triple change if Kisaridis can't stay on.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an odd scenario, isn't it, in that sense, as see a replay again of action inside the penalty area. It's clearly seeing that the ball came off the head of a Hearts defender. Absolutely no question that it came off a head. There's no harm involved. Kingsley was there. No waving hands that time. 59 minutes on the clock. And of course, if there is another injury here, it'd be interesting to see how Hearts change it round. They will be regretting not making that change at half-time. When Iheanacho came on, they immediately made a change within a minute of the second half starting. And with Frankie Kent coming onto the field, Kizaridis is back up onto his feet and is at least making his way over to the sideline. But with two players carrying injuries now for Hearts, it's a big gamble going into this final half an hour for Derek McInnes.
Yeah, well, the positive is that there's not another game after this one, so they're not, even if they do themselves some more damage, at least they've not got another game after this that they need to be up for straight away. It's the end of the season, of course, it's the last game. But you are right, Celtic must know that as well in their minds, that Hearts have got two players that aren't probably at full fitness at the moment. They've got to go at them and they've got to up the tempo. Maybe they'll start doing that now.
Yeah, they certainly try to. First off down the right hand side as Young's attempted cross is charged down and it will go behind for a corner. We've reached the hour mark. Celtic 1, Hearts 1. The advantage still at the moment with the Jam Tarts, but one goal will change that dramatically, of course, and certainly change the atmosphere around Celtic Park. 60,000 in the house, only around about 700 of them are in Hearts colours in the corner of the stadium, as their side has to defend this corner kick then. This one's long towards the far post. Poor ball though, really straight into the hands of Alexander Swallow, who runs towards the edge of his box and then takes as much time as he can. Realises there's no easy outlet. He'll have to put the ball down soon because his 8 seconds will run out if he's not careful. Iheanacho is trying to be clever and wandering around inside the penalty area and then runs across towards where the goalkeeper is stood. Swallow had seen him though. And the ball is up with Shankland at the other end of the field. Looks for Kabore. It was a good ball around the back. Well dealt with again by Scales, but he's forced to give away the set-piece opportunity. But Shankland, great vision from the Hearts captain.
Yeah, that's brilliant, isn't it, from Lauren Shankland. Inch-perfect pass almost to Kabore, and Scales just slides in at the last second, concedes the set-piece. James Forrest getting ready to come on for Celtic. We know that they're not too strong from defending set pieces, Celtic. They've already conceded one in this game when they left Lawrence Shankland, of all people, free at the back post. Surely they've learned their lesson this time. Iheanacho is staying with Shankland, so it won't be the same opportunity. But still, Hearts could be dangerous.
Iheanacho's still got to be sharp though, because Shankland is a demon on that far post area. Kingsley whips it in, he's going that area again, but this time he was looking for those in front of Shankland, and nobody could get the head on it. Findlay was probably the nearest on that occasion, but he was surrounded by green and white shirts inside the penalty area, as Motherwell have doubled their lead at Hibs then. Looks like the European place will go to Motherwell, as Yang is the man who will come off for Celtic. James Forrest, as Josh already indicated, is the man who will replace him for the final 28 minutes and change of this game, plus stoppage time, of which there will be plenty. Please bear in mind, we've already had a couple of injuries and a substitution in this, two substitutions in this second half, so we're already ticking up above the 5-minute mark quite comfortably, you would suggest. Celtic drive forward then with Trusty, the American, up towards the halfway line, plays the ball for Forrest over on that right hand side. He'll try and get away from Kizaridis, plays the ball into a central area. Nygren is onto it, but then he's on a different page to those around him. He was looking perhaps for Johnston to make the run down that right hand edge of the penalty area. Just raced away a little too much though, the pass. To be fair to Johnson, he was running offside anyway, so had to put the brakes on.
Yeah, I can't really blame Nygren for that one. I just don't think they could really keep up with their own attack there, Celtic. They had players flying forward, but not quickly enough as Nygren looked to play that pass forward. Again, the Hearts will take that, won't they? Again, not really under serious pressure at the moment. It's a lot like the first half, where Celtic weren't looking that threatening ball through. Maybe we'll find Kabore.
Sinisalo is out quickly out of his area though to slide in and hook the ball away. So it will be a throw in to Hearts just inside the Celtic half, but Kabore at the moment just starting to see a little glimmer of light around the edge of the penalty area. He's not had the passes come through to him. They've been well defended either by Scales or by Sinisalo, but there is certainly options for Hearts on the break. But at the moment, Celtic dominating possessions. Maeda puts a long cross in, too far, should be cleared away easily by Kingsley, who might actually just let it run out of play for a throw in. He does. No foul there. He was looking for contact from the Celtic man, but didn't really get it. Correction, by the way, at Motherwell. That second goal for Motherwell at Hibs has been ruled out after a video review. The VAR into action, and it remains 1-0 therefore to Motherwell. So they still have the advantage in terms of that final European place, as the ball is thrown long by Hearts, but lost out. Iheanacho tries to pick up on it, but losing it to Devlin. Ball back to Swallow, immediately launches the ball long downfield. Trusty with a powerful header out of his own half, but again it's picked up by Hearts in those central areas. Kent pushes it forward, slips to the floor as he does so though, and the pass was somewhat over it, and now Kabore has gone down as well with an injury, although he's trying to get back to his feet at the minute. Might have just been stood on a little bit by Trusty as the two landed baby. He's holding the top of his foot, and there's a foul by Kent on Iheanacho. That will be a free kick to Celtic, almost level with the centre circle, and immediately taken. Never even saw the free kick took. The director was showing us the discussion between Iheanacho and the referee which was going on. Maybe a suggestion of should that not be a yellow card, ref, but Don Robertson standing strong and saying no, just a free kick. And Celtic in possession, but out wide at the moment. No real space for anybody to make any room because Hearts are sitting in. Shanklin is upfield on his own. Kabore around about 10 yards behind him, just keeping an eye on McGregor, so he can't have an influence from his quarterback role in this Celtic midfield. There might be space out wide, and that's what Celtic are trying to probe here. Kizaridis has to block off a challenge again, but doesn't do so. Ball eventually comes back to Hearts though on the right hand edge of the penalty area. It's cleared away long downfield, but over the head of both those in maroon, but picked straight back up again by the visitors. Shanklin will get there first, turns himself inside out and picks up possession, but then a poor ball forward gives the ball back to McGregor, and it's all getting a little bit scrappy and a little bit nervy at the moment.
It is, and again that will favour Heart of Midlothian. Exactly the sort of game that they wanted. This has been their plan from the start, and they executed it to perfection almost. In that first half, it's just a penalty where they've gone wrong as Tierney swings one towards the back post. Kingsley doesn't take any chances and heads it behind for a corner.
Yeah, safety first at the moment from this Hearts defence, of course, as you'd expect. Not going to take any gambles at this late stage of the game. Forrest it will be, perhaps, who will go over to take it. Tierney has gone over there, so it's played short to the former Arsenal man, who whips a good cross in towards the far post. Maeda with a header. Under pressure, though, couldn't keep it down. That was a good chance for Celtic, but the header flashes over.
Yeah, it might be the first chance of the game, that, for Maeda. He's been so quiet so far, and that's credit to Hearts. They've marked him out the game perfectly and just managed to keep him quiet. On that occasion, he just has the run on his back at the back post. Martin O'Neill, almost like he was trying to head that ball in himself there for Celtic. Didn't quite manage it, and they are going to be forced into another change now, Hearts. Kabore was the man who went down, didn't he, just a few moments ago. It looked like he might have been able to run it off, but he can't do it. So they're going to make the triple change, Hearts. It's, of course, their last window. So that's why they're going to have to make all three it now. Really unfortunate the hand had been dealt in this second half with the injuries. Braga is one of the men coming on. He's going to be joined by Forrest and Chesnikov as well. Kizaridis and Milne, the other two players coming off for Hearts.
Yeah, it's final throw of the dice with quite a long way to go in this game, at least off the bench. So Milne, Kizaridis and Kabore are the three who will come off. Kizaridis and Kabore were carrying injuries anyway. Milne, for me, has had a decent game down that right hand side, but fresh legs on at least to try and counteract the changes by Celtic. But of course you're still carrying Steinwender, who had that injury in the first half. He does look a little better after treatment at half time, it's got to be said. But that's it now then. 5 substitutions made by Hearts. 1 forced, 1 half forced with Kabore, but 3 others are tactical changes. And Celtic still with a couple of cards in the pocket of Martin O'Neill, who I'm not sure ever scored with a header in his playing career, to be fair. I can't remember one, or not one of any consequence anyway. So the fact that he was trying to head a ball into the net is somewhat ironic, really. Master with the ball at his feet, though, it's got to be said. Particularly in his Nottingham Forest days, of course, as a European Cup winner. As ball breaks away, Chesnikov is down the right hand side all of a sudden, gets away from a challenge down towards the byline, still going into the penalty area, tries to hook one back across, but it's blocked away by Trusty, goes straight out of play for a throw in, but immediate impact from the substitute.
What an introduction to the game that is there for Chesnikov. What a run down that right side. He must go through 3 or 4 Celtic players here. He just keeps on going, doesn't look back. In the end, his final ball, it's not even that bad, it's just that there's too many Celtic players in the way of him. He's trying to pick out a man in the 6-yard box. What quite break for Hearts, but immediate impact from the substitute.
Absolutely. Throw in then from Spittle. He'll be the one who can now launch one towards the near post area. It's headed away by Scales. Goes straight out of play for a throw in. There's been a red card in the game at Hibs, and it's gone to Motherwell. Elliot Watt, who scored in midweek, has been sent off for a second yellow card challenge. So Motherwell lead by a goal to nil, but are down to 10 men as the long throw comes into the area. Flicked on again inside the box. Chesnikov has it again. Tries to push it into the path of Spittle down Forest, rather, I should say, down that right-hand side, but it's cleared away over the halfway line. Iheanacho will battle for it. Steinbender gets there first, and this time as he plays it back, he doesn't react in pain. Maybe a suggestion that the Hearts defender is a little better than he was in the first half after that early challenge. Accidental collision with Johnston as the two of them battle for the ball on the edge of the Hearts box. Here come Hearts again, though, down this right-hand side now. No real space though for the moment. It's all rather congested. And eventually the ball spins away off Braga and goes out of play for a throw-in. Be interested as well, Braga, because Derek McKinney's saying he had an injury and that's why he wasn't playing from the start. But we wait to see how he goes on as well. We're almost up to the 70-minute mark. I've nicked a minute or two off Josh, but he'll get plenty of stoppage time, I'm sure, to make up for that, because we're expecting at least 5 minutes at the end of the game, probably more. 1-1, Celtic on the attack.
Yeah, it's Negram as well now. Thank you, Steve. Moving up towards the edge of the penalty area. They need to start upping the intensity against Celtic. They've just let Hearts get comfortable. Here's Forrest trying to change that. No, Forrest goes for left-footed strike. He hits it hard and low, though. It's an easy clearance in the end for Finlay, and Hearts might be able to get the breakaway now. Shankland lays it off to the man behind him. Heavy touch, but can they keep it in on that right side? It's just too far in front of Chesnikov. In the end, he was sprinting towards it. The substitute, I think Hearts might have been given the throw-in, though, as a result of it. Martin O'Neill is a little bit perplexed as to why that decision has been given. Ultimately accepts it though and goes and sits back down on the bench as the referee tells him to do so. Derek McInnes, however, still way out in his technical area, trying to get his team over the line in this run. I mean, if you're anyone associated with Hearts at the moment, I don't even know how you prepare yourself for this and how nervous you must be going into the final 20 minutes of this. As it stands, of course, Hearts are still champions. 1-1, that's all they need. They just need a draw from this game. Avoiding defeat will be enough to secure their first title since 1960. Again, the first title to be won by a non-Old Firm team since 1985, if they can do it. Of course, Celtic are winless in 3 against Hearts in the league this season, so Hearts know they can get it over the line. Scales are now with a clearance. It's met by Devlin in the air up towards Braga, who almost brings it down nicely, but McGregor gets in front of him. Finlay will now send it high up the pitch. Chesnikov will battle with Tierney. Falls now for Devlin in the middle. Spittle chips the ball over towards the right side. That's a bit too heavy in the end for Chesnikov to bring down under his spell. Ambitious pass. Celtic, meanwhile, it's now their turn to ready some more changes. Marcelo Sarachi is one of the players that's coming on. I think Callum Osmond, maybe the other one as well. We'll confirm when those substitutes are actually allowed onto the field, though. Headed behind that is a good one. Shankland now in the centre, trying to bring it away from McGregor, but it's McGregor who's come away. Shankland tackles from behind. It's going to be a free kick there to Celtic. Quite a swarm of maroon shirts around the Celtic captain. McGregor now on the halfway line, passes it across towards Trusty. 18 minutes left to go of the SPL season. Still 1-1 at Celtic Park. Threaded through, trying to get on the overlap again there, and it's just miscommunication again from Celtic, and it's exactly like the first half. Celtic, while they are having the most of possession, they don't look threatening, and Hearts, if this was any other game, would, I imagine, feel really comfortable.
Yeah, and if you're watching this in any other scenario, you'd be saying, there's not a lot in this game, is there really, between these two sides? It's fairly dour, it's stuck in midfield, there's nothing really happening, but because of the amount of tension and what it means, obviously that's keeping the game going, as it were, in that sense, because it's not happening on the field. Celtic, everybody looks too nervous, everybody looks a little bit steady here. There's going to be a couple of substitutions. Trusty and Tierney go off. Osmond and Sarachi are the two who come on in their places. It looks like a little change as well. There's a whisper in the ear of Iheanacho as he comes on, as Sarachi comes on, just to have a discussion about where they're going to play and who's going to fit in where. So Martin O'Neill, again, just shuffling his pack a little, not surprisingly, because obviously they need the goal.
They definitely do. Can they get one now though, Hearts, as Shankland plays it out for Chesnikov, who's looked lively since coming on so far. Tries to put it down the line, but in the end Sarachi with his first involvement. He's just to let that one go by. Scored by substitute, 16 this campaign. Next is Rangers with 13. Hearts have only had 9 themselves. Can that change though? They've got all 5 subs on at the moment, Hearts, but Celtic might have a chance now. Iheanacho's threaded it through. Could be a chance on the edge of the box now. They're sprinting forward. Osmond tries to break into the area. It's wonderful defending though. I think it's Finlay, isn't it? He just denies the substitute who's just come on. What an impact that would have been, but Hearts just in the way of it. It's Frankie Kent actually.
Yeah, it's good defending from Kent as he times that challenge to perfection. In that sense, it just gets a moment or so away from the Celtic man, but not much. Kent's got to get that right because he's last man as well, so he's under massive pressure to make the tackle effectively. Really fantastic defending.
Yeah, good defending as well there from Liam Scales. Under pressure from Shankland, so heads it behind towards Sinasalov. Celtic getting the ball back on the floor though. Bringing it forward now is Johnston. Has the option of James Forrest to his right, but he lobs it downfield again, and getting the players forward now. Celtic a little bit more intensity about their players. Nygren has it over on that far side. Lovely flick round the corner to find James Forrest, of course, in what I believe is his final game for Celtic. Would be quite the script if it was him to score the goal to win the title for them. And it's time for him to do so as well. Johnston has this throw-in. Came off of Braga last. Into the centre now for Iheanacho. Wants another big moment in a Celtic shirt. Across towards Sarachi. Now dart down the left wing, up in towards the penalty box. He's being stood up though well by Steinwender. Final touch comes off him, despite the goalkeeper trying to keep that from going out for a corner. He's not managed it. Celtic should get a set piece in this situation. It's going to be Engels as well to swing it in. The in-swinger from the Belgian midfielder, of course, scored Celtic's equaliser in this match. The likes of Scales, Osmond, all up there. Defenders being sent forward. The delivery's got to be better though from Engels from what we've seen so far in these games on set pieces. Celtic fans can barely watch as Engels swings it towards the back post. Iheanacho heads it up in the air. He was free but leaning back. It's back in now by Osmond. Kent with the final touch. Can Swallow keep that from going out for a goal kick? He can. From corner, I should say. German stopper just in the way of it. Once again, set piece is not really a threat so far for Celtic.
No, I mean, they had got Iheanacho pulled away to that far post. That's what they were aiming for. It was way past that far post though when he got it, and he was under pressure when he tried to make the header. But at the moment, it's all Celtic in possession. Yeah,
it is. It's Nygren as well. He sets off Maeda down this left wing. He's in towards the box. Pulls it across. Nygren, big chance. He can't compose himself. Engels picks it up. He goes down under a challenge. And I think he's given a free kick as well. He has done. Devlin has been booked for his troubles. This is a free kick and a big opportunity, but Celtic just starting to bang on the door a little bit.
Yeah, they're absolutely battering that door at the moment from a Hearts point of view. That will be the noise that they can hear. It's that door rattling on its hinges, because if Nygren can just get the ball out from under his feet, all he's got to do is pass it to his right hand side, but he gets it tangled up, can't really get any power on the pass, and then it's blocked out. But a fabulous position. There's an absolute committee meeting round this ball at the moment, not surprisingly. It is just outside the D, on the left hand side of that D on the edge of the penalty area, and Alexander Swallow has plenty to think about here, and he's got no idea who's going to take it at the moment. Engels, I suspect, is the most likely, but as I said, there is a major committee meeting going on at the moment of those in green and white, and Hearts fans in the ground. It's hands on heads or looking through your fingers at the moment. If you're a Hearts fan, you're probably listening to this hiding behind the settee at the moment.
Certainly are. There was 5 players standing over that free kick for the time being. That's now been cut down to 2. The 2 players standing over it are Engels and Nygren, as you probably would expect. It maybe favours the right foot of Engels. It's a 5-man wall for Celtic, plus 1 lying on the floor just below. They're not taking any chances with this one. Everyone in the way of it. Engels is trying to organise his own wall. That's a 3-man one of Celtic players who just stood in front of the Hearts wall. You can barely watch at the moment at Celtic Park. Is it going to be Engels or Nygren to take this set piece? We're already at Celtic Park. It's going to be Engels, right foot. He gets over the wall and just fought for a moment there. That was going in. It's actually gone quite far wide in the end there from the Belgian midfielder. We'll see the angle from behind. Yeah, it was never really threatening the goal. It looked a lot better from the angle we received initially, but yeah, ultimately wide and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, I'm like you. I thought that was going in the bottom top corner. So did Swallow when he started off, because obviously he couldn't see it coming until he got over the wall, because he got so many players in front of him and there was no angle for the keeper to get a spot on that one. So Devlin confirmed as the yellow card, as we saw on the edge of the penalty area as well before that. And Hearts have got to be careful here. A couple of players now on yellows and under pressure. They need a breather, and they might get it now though.
Yeah, chance. Alan Forrest is breaking into the box. Left-footed strike. It's on target. It's at the near post. Sinasalov though with a fairly easy save. He just got taken too far wide in the end there, didn't he? The substitute couldn't quite get the angle he wanted, and that's just a bit of a warning there for Celtic. A reminder, Hearts are still in this.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's going to be on the breakaway now. It looks like Hearts are going to say, okay, we're going to have to sit in now. We're going to have to try and weather this final push. Here comes Iheanacho though inside the penalty area.
Chance. Oh, it's hit the post. Massive moment for Celtic Park. It's getting all a bit too much now. Celtic are still attacking as well. Chance inside the final third. It's Sirachi on this left side. Ball into the box is a good one. It's headed away. Only as far as McGregor, who now brings it down. Relentless pressure from Celtic. They've just hit the post. The closest they've come to taking the lead in this game. I'll get Steve's thoughts in just a moment, as this attack is still ongoing at the moment for Martin O'Neill's side. James Forrest has it. Lays it off now for Johnston. Iheanacho again just behind him. Wants it on his left foot. Hearts just penned in and trying to get anything on the ball as it stands. Nygren knocks it back to Iheanacho. It's just slightly petering down now, this attack, as McGregor finds Scales. Now for Sirachi. Passing towards the box. Come on, Nygren with the first time shot as well, and he's produced a save. There is Schwallow. It is down the barrel of him, but he doesn't take any chances. He palms it behind for a goal kick, and now Celtic are really starting to bang on the door.
They certainly are. I'll break out because there's immediate short corner taken.
Yeah, there is. It's threaded through as well. Could be another big chance. Lauren Shanklin this time in the way of it, and Hearts have defended that one well. They've got themselves a goal kick. Celtic can't believe it, but it's a much needed breather for Derek McInnes' team.
Yeah, literally, and breathe for this side at all. You say Iheanacho, beautiful turn around the defender, does everything right, left, gets it to side-footed, bends it round the goalkeeper, but he comes right off the front of the post and bounces away. And then the effort from Nygren, lovely move. Celtic starting to find space out wide, putting some really good ball as well into the penalty area. It's a lovely back heel into his path on the edge of the penalty area, but the shot, as you said, almost straight at the goalkeeper above him. It's a regulation stop from Alex Swallow, but it's a really good save in the context of where we're at, and a good effort from Nygren. But it's all Celtic at the moment.
Yeah, they've finally started to up the intensity. This is what they should have been doing from the start, Celtic, playing and moving the ball quicker. Braga now has it down that left wing. He's surrounded by two Celtic players. He's still going to try and go for it. His Hearts is number 10, but it's wonderful from James Forrest, who just breaks beyond the Hearts press. Coming across though there is Blair Spittle. A good challenge there from the substitute. We're into the final 9 minutes at Celtic Park. It's still 1-1 between Celtic and Hearts. As it stands, Hearts are champions, but they're hanging on by a thread at the moment. It's all Celtic. Can they hang on and make history? It's the ball's at the right end of the field at the moment. It's just a few passes between Sinasalov and Johnston. Sinasalov then brings it out of his box. Shot pass out towards Nygren. Now for Johnston. Not sure how you watch this as a Hearts fan at the moment. I've got no allegiances to either of these two sides, and I feel nervous for them. Sirachi now drives forward up through the centre. He's found it as well towards Maeda inside the box. Finlay coming across to cover, curling effort, and it's deflected off of his own man in the end. It was Osmond arriving at the near post. Another chance for Celtic, but ultimately score stays level.
I'm not sure which one was closest to scoring there in that sense, because Maeda's shot looked like it might be bending into the far post anyway, and then it comes off Osmond's head. Not to criticism of the Welshman, he was just running into the space at the near post. Lovely play from Maeda. Now it may have been offside anyway. Osmond, yeah, looking at the replay, it looks like he's well offside, and I'm not sure the effort from Maeda is actually going into the far post. It looks like it might be just flashing wide anyway, so it would have been irrelevant had Osmond headed that one in, because he would have been flagged offside. He was the only man. The reason I know that, I can be pretty sure, is that he got his foot on the 6-yard box and nobody else was in the 6-yard box, so I'm being fairly confident, even with a VAR check, that I'm calling that as offside correctly.
It's a big call, Steve.
I'm confident with myself. I'm going with that one.
Sirachi out with a throwing for Celtic. It's inside his own half. He actually throws it down the line, but it's met by a Hearts head. McGregor now with a ball forward. It's knocked behind there by Kent, rather unconvincingly, and definitely with a really heavy pass. He pings it off of his own player. It's just bouncing around at the moment. No one getting it under control, but Hearts have got themselves a much needed free kick. I think it's been given after a handball there as well. And this is a fantastic watch at the moment. A real advert for Scottish football as well. Probably the most attention there's ever been on the league for quite some time, with a title race fully going down to the wire between team that usually doesn't get to this situation. No matter what happens, it will have brought some attention to the Scottish football that they'll want to capitalise on going forward. At the moment, there's not an uninvested face inside that stadium. Not many fans covering their faces and still watching through their eyes, as you alluded to, Steve, earlier. Starts have it in the right area of the pitch, so Devlin playing it down the line, looking for Chesnikov. It's met though by Scales, and now Celtic might be able to launch an attack. They've got the advantage as well, and moving down this left-hand side now, it's Osmond, the substitute. Turns inside, cross towards the back, is maybe a little bit too heavy in the end for Iheanacho. It's going to go the right side of the corner flag though. It's not a bad ball in the end from Celtic. They'll be able to pen Hearts in their own defensive third here. It's right by the corner flag, as close as you can get. The linesman telling Kingsley to go back and take it from that position. Obviously we can't hear at the moment the atmosphere, but I imagine you could hear a pin drop in there with the tension inside the stadium. Kingsley though, with this throw-in, he's going to throw it down the line again, met by Engels, who lofts it towards goal. It's good news again though for Hearts. It's a little bit wayward and out for a goal kick. You just get to feel maybe if Hearts weathered that little bit of a storm from Celtic.
I don't think they're weathered it at this moment in time, because they're not getting any possession inside the Celtic half. I think it's all on the break. There's still something in your head that says there'll be one chance for Hearts when somebody will break away and maybe end up in a one-on-one situation and have that opportunity, because of Celtic obviously now have got to throw caution with the wind. But there's so much space out wide for Celtic, it's easy for them to get out onto those wide areas and get balls pinged into the area. So there's some quality crosses coming in, some excellent defending, but here go Hearts again, and Sinisalo's out of his area.
Yeah, what is he doing? The Finnish goalkeeper Braga heads it beyond him. He's lucky in the end that it's a bit of a heavy touch from the substitute. He takes it away from goal, and there's a defender back to cover him. Sinisalov, I've never been truly convinced by him. He always thinks he looks like he's got a mistake, but here's Shankland now, still going up towards the byline. Final touch comes off Liam Scales. It's a corner for Hearts.
Yeah, for a second I thought that was exactly what I've said. I'm being pretty good so far in predictions of what might happen after Shankland's goal. But Braga then, as you said, he got in behind the goalkeeper, Sinisalo. I'm not sure what he's doing out there. I accept the fact you want to take control as a goalkeeper, but there's a time and a place, and that wasn't it. He got defenders coming across, and that was what saved him in the end. There ended up just being enough players in green and white to be able to snuff out the danger, but Sinisalo has got to settle down here.
Corner comes in from Spittle. It's towards the centre. Sinisalov with a good punch this time. Might fall for Kingsley. Hits it into the ground, and Braga can't get any meaningful contact on it. That's a big chance there for Hearts. Braga was left unmarked as that ball came back in. Was that the chance, Steve?
May well have been, but what's Sinisalo doing punching it? You know, he's not under any pressure really. Get the thing caught and get it under control. Pushes it out to the edge of the box. Great chance. Not a bad first touch, but the second shot, just panic, isn't it? Just snatches at it as the ball goes over the top again, looking for Braga. And this time Scales is saying to Sinisalo, stay where you are, I'll deal with it.
Yeah, Scales mops it up nicely. I mean, they don't trust him, do they? That back line, is that going to pay dividends in the end for Hearts? We've got about 3.5 minutes left to go of normal time in this one. It's still Celtic 1, Hearts 1. Hearts closing in on that title, but they're really going to have to work for it in these final few moments. Celtic are going to have to throw the kitchen sink at them. It's Sirachi now coming forward for the home side. Turns inside of Devlin. Sirachi still going, left-footed ball. He pokes it through as well. It's a good one. Osman back across goal. There's the touch, and it's ended up in the back of the net. It's Maeda, but it's not going to count. The referee rules it out. It's the linesman on the far side. Has Maeda made his run a little bit too early? Has Osmond made his run a little bit too early? High drama at Celtic Park. For the time being, it's still 1-1.
Oof, what a decision to make. The flag has gone up straight away. As we said, we don't know who it's against, to be fair, because we couldn't see on the angle. Let's have another look here. Yeah, it does look like Maeda, but does Maeda get the ball first in that sense? Hang on a minute. Well, that can't be the case, can it? Because it comes through on the right-hand side and then it's pulled back. Now the question is, do you say Maeda is getting involved with the play? Because at the moment he's not, because he makes the first run and Osmond is onside down that left-hand side. I'm thinking goal here.
I think this has to count.
Yeah. Maeda's certainly offside as he comes across, but does he get close enough to interfere with play? Is he active at that point? I'm not sure he is. Although you'd say he's offside in the same spell of play. I'll let the assistants VAR sort this one out in that sense, because I'm not sure. It's certainly not Maeda when he puts the ball in the back of the net that is the problem. But there's a question about, does he interfere with play by going towards the ball? But he never gets there because it's actually played into Osmond in the end, who looks like he was clearly onside.
Well, who'd be a referee? Who'd be a linesman in this occasion?
I think it's goal.
It's made. And the referee points to the spot. Maeda's goal counts. Celtic lead in the final few moments. Wild celebrations at Celtic Park. It's heartbreak though for Hearts. They were closing in on their first title since 1960. However, Celtic have got the goal. Maeda's goal ruled out for offside. The VAR intervenes and Celtic lead. Is there enough time for Hearts to respond?
Yeah, well, there is. There's no question. I mean, you know, they could complain all they like, but I don't see an issue there with that ball because Maeda, to me, doesn't come near enough to actually interfere with play. Doesn't block off any defenders or anything like that or cause them any impact. And I think I can see why the flag's gone up because the linesman on that far side may feel, actually, that he's far enough across. I mean, they're showing a replay here with the VAR on side. It's not a question, to me, I don't think, of whether he's offside or not. It's a question of, is he interfering with play? Is he seeking to get an advantage at that point, and does he interfere with anybody else in the penalty area, which I don't think he does at that stage. But of course the assistant on that far side probably has to flag because he's not sure how close Maeda is to the ball, probably on that far side, because he's on the other side of the field. So I understand why the flag goes up, but I do think it's a bad call by the assistant referee, although I can see why he's put his flag up to make sure that that is checked.
Well, it's something that's going to be debated after the game. You can definitely take that. But what is for sure, Days and Maeda scored his 14th goal of the SPL season. Benjamin Nygren is now going to make way for the number 47, Murray, right at the end of this game. It's the final change for Celtic. We're now well into the final minute of additional time. There's going to be quite a lot of stoppage time, I think, here for the stoppages we've had due to injuries. I mean, Celtic Park is already celebrating. The pyros are going off. I mean, that is a shocking initial call from the linesman if he has just given it for that reason, but of course he's done it for the other reason. Yeah,
I think the only issue in the linesman's mind is how close does Maeda get towards running to the ball, and does he interfere with any defenders in terms of coming across. So I think his indication is there is a player offside who may or may not, from my angle, be offside, and that's probably why he puts the flag up, to make sure there's then a check from that VAR side. 8 minutes of stoppage time. There is still time here for Hearts, but they've got to get possession of the ball, and the danger is with so many injuries, etc., they're just running out of steam.
It's down the other end of the field as well. They need it right at the other one. Up jumps Engels there to head it behind for a throw-in. Hearts have got another problem now. Steinbender, we had that issue, didn't he, early in the game, and now it's just being aggravated. He is looking injured. He wants the game to stop. I don't think he's going to be able to continue. Hearts are probably going to have to play the rest of this game with 10 men. They've already made all 5 of their substitutions, 2 of them forced to injury as well. Spittle is now going to take this throw in. I mean, the ball boy, he's trying to throw it into the crowd there and stuff. That's a bit of a joke at the end there from the Celtic ball boy. Spittle finally has the ball though. He's going to launch it into the box as well. It's the long throw in, almost headed on. Have Hearts got themselves a corner? They have. They've been good from set pieces. It comes off of Scales Laston behind for the corner.
Yeah, certainly a corner. You could see the deflection up onto Scales and then away. I mean, at the near post, it's tense stuff. Now, this is what Hearts have got to do. Now, you've just got to throw everything at it. They came back twice to make it 2-2 in one game at Celtic Park this season. Can they do it again?
Kingsley lofts it towards the back post. They're queuing up for it. It's Braga who heads it behind. It's come off him last match of him. And Steinbender actually was down just a few moments ago. He sprinted up the field to then win that header. It's too much for him though, and he can't find the target.
Yeah, he never got round it, did he really? There were 3 players in maroon at the far post who could all easily have got a header back across, but in the end it just squirms off the outside of his head and nowhere near the goal, and Celtic fans celebrating. I wouldn't quite be celebrating just yet if I was in green and white, because there's still way to go here in terms of this game. We've seen the drama already this season. We saw the late goal for Celtic. The footballing gods might feel that they want to put that into context, as it were, and give Hearts something late on. You never know.
6 minutes left of the additional 8 that were added on by the 4th official. Is it enough time for Hearts to get up the field again? It should be, as they head it forward. Braga trying to get there, but it Scales in the way, sends it downfield, met now by Devlin. Heavy touch on him, but still almost finds his target in the form of Chesnikov. He's looks like he'd been fouled there. There's 2 Hearts players down as they look to play this one forward. That's an ambitious ball over the top, way too heavy for Braga to get on the end of. I mean, they're going to be thinking what might have been here, Hearts. They were going probably 1-0 up into that half-time break. If that wasn't a handball and Celtic hadn't scored that penalty, would the wind have been knocked out of the Celtic sails? Well, they're going to be able to do it. It's taken long.
14 seconds before Sinisalo clears that away. I think the referee's overlooking the 8-second rule, shall we say, a little bit, and being a bit generous there to the Celtic goalkeeper. Took an absolute age.
Kingsley now with a ball high up in the air. They should win that one as well. It's headed on nicely and they could get forward. Shankland, it's just sort of bounced off him. Maeda with some wonderful defensive duty, heavy touch, and that's a good sliding tackle there from Devlin. The challenge is flying in from both sides. This time it's Shankland on Sirachi, and it's boiling over on the touchline now. The Hearts captain and the Celtic substitute getting embroiled, pushing and shoving going on, almost coming to blows. Sirachi and Shankland are going to be shown a yellow card for their troubles.
Yeah, not surprising really. It's all a bit of playground stuff, isn't it? On that occasion, Shankland himself is going to take the long throw here in front of the Celtic fans, who are giving them the benefit of their thoughts, as we say, shall we say, down by the sideline.
Yeah, Shankland, what a long throw in that is, right up towards the box as well. It's balling around Scales with the header. Steinman, has that come off his hand? It might have done, but Celtic have got it clear regardless. We're about halfway through additional time. 4 minutes left to go. It's at the back now with Schwallow. Takes the long kick, left-footed downfield. It's a good kick as well, but it's headed up in the air this time by James Forrest. So Hearts have won it back though. Chesnikov tries to get round McGregor. It's going to be a free kick though. McGregor thinks about kicking it away from him. He isn't on a yellow card, so he has got that luxury, but opts against it in the end. And well, everyone's going to go forward now for Hearts. We keep being shown shots of the away end, and the faces that we're seeing in there, absolutely distraught at the moment. Seeing their side be topped since September, and it looks like it might be stolen away from them at the final hurdle. Celtic, of course, will overtake Rangers for titles as well if they win this one, 56-55. In comes the free kick. It's headed back towards the edge of the box. Spittle is waiting for it. Out on the edge of the area now. Move towards Chesnikov, who's been good since coming on. Steps inside of Sirachi. Moved out towards the right by Alan Forrest. It's a really poor ball, and Shankland has fouled Maeda, who gets there just in front of him. Maeda celebrates in the face of Sirachi. Shankland's got to be careful. He's on a yellow card, and you can see why he's getting wound up at this point. A penny for his thoughts after how good of a season he's had. But yeah, Maeda clearly starting celebrations a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit naughty from Maeda. I mean, Shankland is a foul, there's no question about that. It's not a nasty one, and it's not a context where he's trying to stop a breakaway. Maeda was heading for the sideline rather than downfield, but yeah, reaction, trying to get a rise out of Shankland, isn't he? And the referee quickly onto it just to settle it down. I think Maeda as well looked round, realised it was Shankland, and thought maybe this is not a good idea from a self-preservation point of view as well.
Yeah, a bit of a physical mismatch, isn't it, there between Daisy Maeda and Lawrence Shankland. In the end, not being taken further. Celtic have finally taken that free kick and launched it up towards the edge of the Hearts box. It's Chesnikov there with a header. He's fouled this time. There's so many fouls going in at this late stage. Chesnikov now holding his lower back, but he's going to be okay to continue. A yellow card has been shown for that foul. I believe it was Engels who was given it. The man who, of course, scored the penalty.
Sorry, George, I think it might be Maeda actually, because he kicked the ball away on the halfway line, and the referee was running in that direction. So I think it's the goal scorer who's got the yellow. He will not care, quite frankly.
Probably the most happy he'll ever be to take a yellow card. We're into the final 2 minutes of additional time. Lofted up towards the edge of the box again. It's Celtic who get the clearance. Picked up now by Spittle, who wants to win it through down the line. Can they just keep that one in? It can. It's Alan Forrest, but he's beaten by James Forrest to that tackle. Again, a clearance goes long from Celtic up towards Schwallow. Brings it down nicely. Left-footed ball high up towards the final third. It's headed, brought down now by Chesnikov. Devlin lofts it into the box again. McGregor right in the way of it, the Celtic captain. 10 major titles he'll have won now if, as a captain, if he can stick out for this final one. That's surely winning a yellow card though for Callum McGregor. He's absolutely wiped out his man there. And yeah, I mean, the referee's probably losing count of the amount of yellow cards at the moment.
Yeah, he hasn't got time to write everything down at the moment, has he, the referee? I think we're going to have another minute or two, though, of stoppage time. I think we might tick up towards 100 minutes before this one finishes. Another chance for Hearts, and not surprisingly, Schwallow is going to be up for this one, but the defensive line is almost on the edge of the penalty area because of where the free kick is going to be taken, so it's last gambles for Hearts.
Last chance now. It's going to come in from Spittle. It's not a great delivery. It barely beats the first man out on the edge of the box now. They try and take the strike, but Celtic can break away, and they've got three players running through. This will be 3-1, and this will be the title for Celtic. It's going to be put into the back of the net by Osman, the substitute. The fans can celebrate in the stands. Martin O'Neill can celebrate as well. Celtic have done it. They've won their title. They've beaten Hearts at Celtic Park. It's 3-1. It's the easiest goal Osman will ever score, and it's heartbreak for Heart of Midlothian.
Absolutely, it's horror for Hearts in that sense. That first ball into the area for me had to go long towards far post and then try and deal with it from there. It came in short, easily headed away, and there's somewhat chaos now with fans on the pitch as well, which is not good from a safety point of view. We've got green and white all over the pitch, and these players need to be taken off. I think, in fact, one or two of the... I'm not sure if the referee's actually blown the final whistle here now once that ball has gone into the back of the net. We'll wait and see. It could well be the end of the game anyway. To say one or two of the Celtic players trying to protect those in maroon on the field, which is good to see as well. They've got to get these idiots off the field, quite frankly. Come on at the end when everybody's finished rather than in the middle of the game, because as it stands, as far as we can see, the referee hasn't blown the whistle, but Hearts had to gamble, didn't they? I mean, you credit Celtic in terms of, you know, the run that they've had at the end of this season. They had to win all the games coming into this. That's what they did. Job done from them. You give them massive credit, but with Hearts at the moment, and that looks like Lawrence Shankland's took a hit from somebody in there as well, unfortunately, I'm afraid to say. But I think at the minute, Derek McInnes and his players are being shepherded away by the police. And I think this is all going to end in absolute chaos, I'm afraid to say, at Celtic Park, which is not a credit to the Celtic fans, bearing in mind they are regular winners of this Premiership. But anyway, there's always one or two who will spoil it for the majority, unfortunately. But, you know, it's been a great performance from Celtic running up to this, but it's so heartbreaking for Hearts. They've been top of the table for more than 200 days in this scenario, and at the moment they are being taken off the field, the players, for their own safety. Whether they will come back on for a final few seconds, we wait to see. The referee Don Robertson is in the tunnel. I think he wants to get the players back out to actually finish the game, because technically I don't feel that he's actually blown the final whistle here, but I'm not sure how you do that in a safe fashion.
Yeah, I think they've got to blow the final whistle, haven't they, at some point here. Don Robertson has probably been put into a really hard position here as a referee. I mean, it was just about to tick beyond the 98 minutes, but there have been a few stoppages for free kicks already, so there's still probably about a minute or two left to play before that. The Celtic players are all still on the sideline celebrating at the moment. The timer hasn't stopped. They are still technically in play, I believe, but Celtic fans still... few of them on the pitch at the moment. I think the full-time whistle has finally blown though. The Hearts fans in the corner of the ground absolutely subdued. Heartbreak for them. They've had a wonderful season, but it's not the fairy tale ending in the end for Heart of Midlothian. Celtic come from behind. They win the title on the final day in the most dramatic fashion. It finishes at Celtic Park. Celtic 3, Hearts 1.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goal.